No, you won't.
Code of Silence starts, a thriller that will have you on the edge of your seat. That's over on Virgin Media Play and 1. Now we're crossing live for some League of Ireland action here on Virgin Media 2. Shelbourne take on Drogheda United.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
It's a double-header night in the League of Ireland Premier Division. Can the shell-shocked champions bounce back from defeat at Dalymount? Down to 9 men by the end and their manager watching from a nearby hill, Shelbourne will want to forget that defeat to Bohs on Friday night pretty quickly and get their title defence back on track. Their opposition, the early season leaders, Drogheda though have slipped off the pace a little in recent weeks, but a 1-1 draw with Derry on Friday night shows Kevin Doherty's men remain a force to be reckoned with. We are live on Virgin Media 2 for Shelbourne versus Drogheda United. Kickoff is at 7:45. Good evening to you. The 4 sides in action tonight carry Irish hopes in European football later on this summer. Tonight about making sure domestic matters are ship-shape before they jet off to foreign climes. Ian Morris and Vinnie Perth on the Monday night shift in studio. Here are those 2 fixtures taking place then this evening in the Premier Division. Shamrock Rovers taking on St Pat's in the night's other game, that one kicking off at the slightly later time of 8 o'clock. And we will, of course, bring you the goals from that when we are done at Tolka Park. And it is Shamrock Rovers that lead the way with a 2-point gap after their win in Waterford on Friday night. Drogheda in 5th, 4 points back. Shelbourne 7 points off top now, and Vinny coming up to the halfway point of the season, 7 points behind Rovers with a fair few teams in between them. Are the champions in danger of slipping out of this title race?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the difference between last year and this year is huge in terms of they set the pace last year, and we all know they found a struggle to get over the line. They did, but the difference now is Shamrock Rovers are winning and winning comfortably at the moment, you would say, without playing their very best. So it's very hard to chase down the league title, and Shelbourne have come off the levels they were at last season, and that will be concerning for the manager, and they've tried to change things up. It ain't working at the moment.
They are up against a team, Ian, that has caused them problems this season already. Drogheda have won at Tolka Park, 2-2 draw up the road in the away game. Can Drogheda hang on in this league and compete for those top places despite maybe dropping off their form of early season in recent weeks?
Yeah, like they've shown, we're nearly halfway through the season and they've shown that they should be thereabouts. When you start looking into the last 5 games, they've conceded 10 goals. They're starting to concede a hell of a lot more now than what they had at the start of the season. They were happy enough at the start of the year. They concede kind of area on the pitch. They drop a little bit deeper. They let other teams have the ball, but they were so clinical at the top end of the pitch that they were scoring goals, putting teams under pressure and keeping loads of clean sheets. That's starting to go the other way now a little bit, and you're sort of thinking, can you maintain that? Another big thing about Drogheda, they've only got a 50% pass completion rate in the league this year. That's 1 out of every 2 passes they're keeping, or 1 every 2 they're giving away. That needs to be a hell of a lot better. They've got players that can do it. I think if they start keeping the ball a little bit better, start playing in the other team's half, I think they'll start getting back to where they were on the start of the season.
Let's check in with the 2 sides then. We'll hear from Kevin Doherty, the Drogheda manager, shortly. But first, he's back on the sidelines tonight. That photo of him went viral, didn't it, on Friday night up overlooking the fair at Dalymount. Shell's boss, Damien Duff, has been speaking with Dave McIntyre.
Damien, back in the sideline where you belong tonight, was it a difficult one on Friday, not being able to be there during the game, or is all the work done and it's not so big an issue?
Oh, probably the most difficult thing of the whole evening was for the league. I thought it was an embarrassing, mortifying photo for the league when it's in such a good place. Outside of that, we have the best staff in the country, so the team is in good hands. So no, fine.
2 changes tonight. Obviously, injuries and suspensions, they're racking up. Is it really pushed to the pin of your collar in terms of the resources at the moment?
No, it's fine. Feel sorry for yourselves. It's not where we want to be at the minute, so no. brilliant team on the pitch, brilliant individual players, and they just need to get on with life.
You're looking for a big result tonight. Obviously, the last home game, the St. Pat's game, was a huge 3 points. Are you happy with the levels of performance, and is there a feeling that the results will then follow, or is there a lot of work to be done to get to the form you need where those results will come?
In the main, the whole season, we're more than happy with the performances. I think last Friday in Dalymount probably sums up our league. An individual error has such a knock-on effect then to what points you put on the board. But listen, we need to obviously cut them out and keep just concentrating on our performances.
Kevin, you're back at a place where, as a player, you enjoyed some very good memories. You had a good spell here as a manager as well, and you've already been here this season and taken 3 points. So I say the side of Tulka Park, probably a pretty good one for you and your boys here tonight.
Yeah, especially when you turn up and the pitch is looking like this. It's absolutely brilliant. Gives everyone a lift coming in, because obviously it was a lot earlier in the season when we came here, but the evening that's in it and the weather and the pitch, it really makes it really good to see when you turn up. But the other stuff, yeah, it's great. Obviously had a great time here, but we had a good time here, as you say, earlier in the season. It was a really tough game, and probably a few changes in both teams from then, so probably could be a completely different match. But look, we're really looking forward to it. I said, very happy with our last performance on Friday. I thought we were really good, and so unlucky not to win the game, but look, hopefully we can take that performance into today.
Just want to bring you back to that interview with Duff, Vinny, because he went right in there and called the picture of him overlooking the game, standing up behind the goal, embarrassing and mortifying there. Yeah,
and it's funny, I expect him to come out with something like that, because it was. And he's obviously, in his own way, apologised for his own part in it. I think the league has to look at that type of stuff, and we've got to be bigger and better than that. Surely we can find a better standing position from... I was actually in Edinburgh on Friday, a rare League of Ireland night off, and even there I had people talking about it. I thought it was a shocking photograph.
Because people might say that's part of the kind of the quirky sort of,
No, we're better than that, and like we have to be able to find somewhere in Dalymount Park that doesn't look like that. Photograph travelled across Europe and it didn't look good. Standing in weeds on a sideline on the pitch, we're better than that.
Let's get into the weeds of your analysis piece then, Vinny, and we asked you to look at why Shelbourne, after 16 matches compared with last season, are 6 points worse off. So this time last year they were streaking ahead, they were setting the pace, not so this season. And you've looked at a few areas where compare and contrast from last year. Yeah, there's a couple of things. I know Damien touched on individual errors, but there's also a system shift where they were very much a 4-3-3 team, and it was a straight line of 3 in midfield for vast majority last season and 3 up front. And what was really interesting was the intensity in which they played. So you had to break that front 3, but how the work rate of Shelbourne, they showed you one side and then they just pressed like dogs of war. John Martin there brilliantly. But also what they did last year was when they created those big moments, they had Will Jarvis, for example, or Boyd, but Will Jarvis here, this is second on the night up in Tala, and that's ultimately how they won the league. But now they've changed and they're a little bit more open. That 3 in midfield aren't standing as a straight line, and Pat's exploited them brilliantly. It's a wonderful finish, but there's gaps there and there's a way of playing through them. And them big moments, as I spoke about Jarvis or Boyd, yes, it's a brilliant save, but you've got to take them early in the game. This is in the 89th minute, and champions generally go and take those moments, go and win 1-0. Dust yourself down, but it's not happening for them again. 87 minute 2-2, they can't get that final touch, and so they've created a huge amount of good chances. So that will please Damien. They've left themselves a little bit exposed at the back, but they haven't taken, as I said, big moments, fine margins. We're hearing that word a lot from managers, and Mipo's got to do a little bit better here. He's got himself into great areas. Don't want to be too critical of him. He's had a lot of shots, but that's a moment to go and win the game or get them back into it. They're ninth in the table in big chances converted, Shelbourne, so they'll hope that'll improve in the weeks and months to come. You were looking at the game on Friday, Ian, and you were seeing how Bohs were able to take advantage of what's been that bit of a style shift, that evolution, if you like, the Shelbourne have tried to do, and it's not quite working for them yet.
Yeah, they look like they're trying to build really deep and move the ball all the way up the pitch all the time. They don't look like they're stretching teams. It's everything looking really short. And I think Bohs set the tone here when Dale Rooney broke and he just put Kearns under pressure. And that really rallied Bohs. But you look at Shells, they continually tried to play in their own half, tried to set each other, always looking for a little short option, never looked to put Bohs facing their own goal. And Bohs just ate it up. You could tell Alan Reynolds and his staff, and they looked at this and said, do you know what, we can get after Shells here. They're going to try and play short, they're going to try and be really deep. Mipo was so isolated up top on his own, nobody was near them. You see again here, they play the same ball continually all the time, and they've got midfielders or fullbacks playing in wing-back areas, at centre-back as well, and everyone wants to come short and play nice and play the ball, and ultimately it ended up.
Do you think Drogheda will go after them in the same way tonight? Drogheda
haven't as of yet this year, and that's what I was saying about Drogheda being really deep and conceding territory on the pitch. Have they looked at this and thought, do you know what, are they going to do the same? Because Shells don't play, like Vinny talked about, having a front three, having players who can stretch you, who are really good one-to-one. They look like they're playing a lot deeper.
Last week against Shamrock Rovers, they went the complete opposite. They set in Drogheda, so that's not going to work for them tonight.
Drogheda mentioned their Shelbourne struggling in terms of taking chances. On that table of big chances converted, Drogheda are first on the table. Big reason why they had that brilliant start to the season. One of the players who's been responsible for that is young 20-year-old Warren Davis. Only Moses Dyer is ahead of him in the goal scoring charts, and he's been a big addition to Drogheda's arsenal this season, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic, and he's had a different route to get to the top level in the country as well. Going back to St Joseph's Boys, playing schoolboy football again at 17, 18, and then going to Drogheda. And you see here what you're talking about. That's another individual error. You probably, Damien Duff has mentioned, getting after him. But you look at his movement here. Plays on the shoulder, he's pointing where he wants the ball, doesn't get it, arcs his run to come out again, and two unbelievable touches, and then slots home calmly. His movement for me is up there with the best I've seen and watched. He plays on people's shoulders, he's always looking, can I get in behind? Where the defender's standing, can I get in their blind spot? And he's always a threat. Again, you watch him here, he knows where the ball's going, he's always assessing, where's this going to land? And his technique, and he's really clinical, catch the ball properly, use the right side of your foot. And you look at him here, double movement, does a break, unbelievable little swivel here to slot back in difficult conditions. But this is great from Drogheda. Lambe down the side, look at him playing on the blind side, can I burst me socks here to get across the defender? And again, proper contact on the ball, gets himself another goal to add to it. He's been so good this year for them, and he's going to be one they'll be hoping, can he replicate his goal that he scored in Tyreke earlier in the year? Yeah. Or is he going to be that fox in the box? Can he get round the defenders and Shells and score more goals?
Just one goal, bit part player last season for Drogheda, 6 already this season, Warren Davis. Just a quick word then on Drogheda and what the challenge that Shelbourne faced with this Drogheda team. Again, the draw, really good performance. Doherty felt they left it behind them the other night. And also a lot of positivity around Doherty signed a new contract till 2027. You had the cup win, the going full-time thing, the ownership there seems to be on the right page. It's a good time to be a Drogheda fan these days, isn't it?
Returning as well to the bench. He's been a huge player, probably been one of the top players in the league all season. So that's really important for them. But look, we know what they're about. They're very much Shells-esque from the start of last season in terms of hard work, energy levels. They've got to replicate that tonight because it feels an important moment for both of these teams. You know, in small moments in leagues dictate how your league pans out, and this feels like a big 90 minutes for them.
Chance for you at home to have your say. As you can see on screen, our question tonight is, at this stage, who is going to win the League of Ireland title this season, in your opinion? The QR code on screen is there now to cast your vote, and we'll show you the results later on in the programme. Ian, Vinny's point there, big moment for Shells, as we've said. Big test for Duff and his management team with the results they've had recently. Can they come through this tonight? How's it going to go?
I'm not sure. I think Drogheda raise themselves when they play against Shells. Like he spoke about Kevin Doherty in his interview, they lift their game. They've played players that have played there before. I think Drogheda do well when they go to Tolka.
Very quick.
I'm still Team Duffer at the moment. I fancy them.
Keeping the faith.
Get back into this title race, and yeah, it's good for the league.
At least he's on the sideline this evening.
At least he's not up on that hill in the weeds, thank God. Yeah.
Let's get to Tolka Park then. Shelbourne against Drogheda United. Your commentators are Graham Gartland and first Dave McIntyre.
Yes, thank you, Tommy. Good evening, everyone. So return to Tolka Park in the sunshine, and Shelbourne manager David Duff will be surely hoping it brings with it an upturn in his team's fortunes after their desperately disappointing result up the road at Dalymount Park on Friday evening. Just 6 points of the last 21 on offer, and the champions are treading water and in real danger if this continues, have been cut adrift in the title race. They're visitors to Tolka Park tonight in a similar place. Drogheda United began the season in such good form, but they're in a slump of their own now, mirroring their host's recent run of a single win in 7. This really is a real need of a spark to perhaps reignite their seasons, although when they have met in previous games in recent times, they've been entertaining. There have been plenty of goals. Let's take a look at the two sets of teams for tonight. Injuries and suspensions really hampering Shelbourne. David Duff back on the sideline tonight after a ban of his own has made 2 changes. Mark Coyle and Ali Coote both serving suspensions. Tyreke Wilson makes just his second start of the season, while Ellis Chapman starts in midfield with Kerr, McInroy and JJ Lunney, who makes his 200th Premier Division appearance. The attack is led by Mipo Odubeko, who's supported by Harry Wood. Well, our match referee tonight is Rob Hennessy. He's taken charge of these sides in games in the Premier Division 5 times this season, none of which have actually resulted in a victory for either Shells or Drogheda. That will continue, of course, if the points are shared this evening. The Drogheda 11 has a familiar look to it, but there are 2 changes. It's been selected by a former Shelbourne manager, and it contains 5 ex-Shelbourne players. There are 2 of them in the defence, in Conor Kane and Andrew Quinn, who's recalled after 2 games as an unused sub. Another one is Shane Farrell, of course. He's back from suspension, eager to impress against his former club. He's joined in there by another one-time Shells favourite and team captain Ryan Brennan. No place for Thomas Alua, so it's Warren Davis who leads the attack. He got the winner for Drogheda here on their last visit in March. We're all set here at Tolka Park, and kick-off is next.
Once you quit smoking, you realise it's not the friend you thought it was. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie.
So ready to go here. Mipo Odubeko waiting for the nod to get us up and running. It is 4th place Drogheda United against Shelbourne, the champions, who despite that run of form, we're still only 7 games behind as we edge closer to the halfway point of the season. Graham Gartland alongside me this evening. What are you anticipating over the next couple of days?
Yeah, looking forward to a really good game, actually. They've both earned the right to play in this fixture. It'll freeze them up for the European games. One won the league and the other one won the FAI Cup, obviously being Drogheda. But it makes for a cracking evening of football.
Well played inside by Ellis Chapman, nodded forward by Farrell. That was a clever touch from him, and he managed to pick out Douglas James Taylor. And the ball comes back towards Taylor and the edge of the area. Promising build-up play from Drogheda United here. Back out it goes to Andrew Quinn. And away by Gannnon. Farrell, another little flick. That was good vision again from him, neat and tidy, and a really good start to Shane Farrell, who did win a league medal with Shells last season, despite his mid-season exit for Drogheda United.
Yeah, and he was a player he missed on Friday night against Derry, in them little moments when Drogheda win the ball back and they're on the counter-attack, and he just brings that bit of quality, and we saw it there again. 2 little touches with his head, and his link-up play with Douglas James Taylor is there for all to see, and now his deliveries as well.
Well, he started all 15 league games before Friday night's draw with Derry City, and immediately back into the starting 11 tonight. Shane Farrell has been responsible for the vast majority of the set pieces for Drogheda so far this season, but they're leaving this one to Owen Lambe. So we'll see what he can conjure up here, the Californian born Drogheda United player, who's also started all bar 1 game this season. So in it comes, and it's gone an awful long way, and Shells will be fortunate that eventually fell to Wood, who managed to hook it clear with his left foot. Down the left-hand side, Shells go again, looking for Odubeko, and that will be a Drogheda United throw-in.
Yeah, it just makes it through the gap. You see it here, they don't really deal with it. It's low. You expect it to be cut out by the player in the hole. Just misses everybody. I think it's Douglas James Taylor, and ends up hitting him nearly as he's running through, hits him on the back of the leg.
Brennan did well there to get there ahead of Woods, but then he held back Wood, who was attempting to get onto the second ball. So this time it's a Shell's free kick in a promising position. We'd expect goals tonight, Graham. Shell 7 games without a clean sheet, just 1 in 8 games for Drogheda United, so the form lines don't suggest that defences will be on top tonight.
No, like you said, you have all the stats done on it. They haven't, and even Shelbourne started the game, they cough up the half chance by giving the ball away themselves with a sloppy pass in midfield.
Well, here comes Shells again, played forward by Chapman. And now it's with James Norris. The Liverpool loanee here for the season. McInroy spreads it back out to that left-hand side, and Tyreke Wilson, who's starting a league game this season for just the 2nd time, getting his opportunity with so many players absent. Mark Coyle, Paddy Barrett, Ali Coote, Sam Bone, Sean Boyd and Lewis Temple all missing. It's a huge injury and absentee list that David Duff has had to contend with.
Yeah, and like you said, especially in the back line with Paddy Barrett being a massive one. Lewis Temple off a man-and-match performance against Pats, ends up getting injured during that week, and then he's out for a little bit longer, and they've missed him as well. But you can see what Wilson and Norris might do on this side is link up a little bit more, where Wilson can go and join in, who's a natural wing back on this side, or left back, and JJ Lunney just slots into that left centre back position.
Ledwidge for Wilson. A bit of space for Chapman. It is Sean Gannnon who's wearing the armband tonight in the absence of Mark Coyle. And a little bit of pressure there, Tyreke Wilson. And the ball forward is flicked away by Elicha Ahui. No Paul Doyle in the Drogheda United midfield tonight. They're also missing James Bulger, who pulled up at the weekend, but Josh Thomas still a couple of weeks away. Darragh Markey is back. Really interesting to see what we see him later in the evening. Graham, he's been so impressive this season until that injury.
Yeah, we mentioned him in the pre-match as well, and how good he was in the run that Drogheda went on to win the cup final last year, and how prominent he was even in the cup final. But he's a big player for them because he's willing to take the ball.
Gannnon took a heavy touch, and flicking it away from him well was Warren Davis. We got the winner here in March when the two sides met again. That's gone a long way. Half-hearted appeals for a handball, and Wood looking to play it early into the path of Odubeko. He's all alone at the moment though. Wood making a really good run ahead of him, and it's just gone away from the Shell striker as he was assessing what his next move might be.
Yeah, you can see what he was trying to do. He tried to drive inside and then just chop that one on the outside back onto his right foot. If the ball bobbles on him a little bit, it doesn't allow him to do it, and ends up just Keely's ended up just picking her up nice and easy. But it was again, Shells had really good possession, sloppy with it. JJ Lunney flicks one back, and then it leads to that chance down the left hand side. They are a little bit more possession based than they were last season, but they still need to have a purpose to it and take care of the football a little bit more.
Duff will be happy with some of the forward passes they've already played in these opening few minutes. Been a bright start by both teams, truth be told.
Odubeko needs more. Mipo Odubeko needs more support when he gets into that position. They're a little bit too deep and can't get up to support them.
Well, won by Ledwidge. Here is Douglas James Taylor, but he's querying the referee's decision. It will be a free kick for Shells. Drogheda United playing into the away support in this first half. There's a considerable number of them as well that have made the trip down to Dublin. There's a former Shells manager and indeed a Shells player in Kevin Doherty. 3 league titles as a player with Shells. He's got some very fond memories of this place.
That was a great Shelbourne team he was involved in as well. They were just so dominant in every position. We were talking about them earlier. The likes of young Wes Houlihan was fantastic for the league as well. Then they replaced him with Joey and Doe, so it didn't get any easier.
So it'll be a Drogheda United goal kick. Luke Dennison fully fit again after some dental repair work that was required. It saw him miss 1 game. Otherwise, he has been ever present this season in goal. Away by McInroy. Not a great touch initially from Odubeko, but the second one wasn't too bad at all. Out wide it goes to Norris. Waited for the run ahead of him of Wilson. And that last touched Tyreke Wilson.
That's what we were talking about, just that link-up play between them two. Wilson obviously wants to go on that side. He has the ability to go. His delivery as well is fantastic, Tyreke Wilson, a wonderful left foot. But it's just up to JJ Lunney just to slot across into that position. And that allows the both of them to go and attack on that left-hand side. Warren Davis has started really well. He's obviously linked the play up. Nicks one off Gannnon earlier too.
Here is Gannon. Really do need all of his experience, and the Shelbourne defence has been shorn of so many first-teamers. Ball forward by Ahui. Flank is up on that far side. And Shell's lost just 3 times at Tulka Park across the entirety of last season. They've lost twice here already in this campaign, and there's just a vulnerability about them that wasn't there for the vast majority of last year. It's the sort of very difficult to beat mantra they're trying to reinstill in these next run of games before we get to the summer break.
It's also a case that a lot of teams are giving them a lot more respect, obviously being champions too, and allowing them to have the ball sometimes and getting back into their shape a little bit quicker. Here comes Caffrey now.
Caffrey with a really purposeful run, and he picked out the space in front of Wood as well. Wraps his right foot around it. Knocked down by Norris, and the shot coming in was well struck. Really good effort from Chapman, and it's still not clear from a Drogheda point of view. Caffrey again, and it's pulled across goal. Well, that was a very promising attack indeed for Shelbourne.
Yeah, brilliant. Evan Caffrey does brilliant on the right-hand side. He drives inside. Wood takes the space that he leaves on the outside right. He hangs one up. This is a very clever header from Norris just to set it back. Chapman coming on to it. He does well to get over it, and it's a mixture of Brennan and Ahui that actually get the block on it. It's great defending in the end from Drogheda, just to put bodies in the way. And Evan Caffrey follows up and just pulls his shot wide in the edge of the box. Was it?
3 goals already this season for Evan Caffrey. It's already the tally equalled for the whole of last season. And he assisted both goals in the 2-2 draw in Drogheda last month. He's in good form, Evan Caffrey. Tucked away by Quinn. Chapman. And then Lunney, 200th game in the League of Ireland top flight tonight for JJ Lunney. Gannnon. He's done an awful lot more than that over the course of his very illustrious career in this league. Then McInroy and Wilson. Again, this possession-based game that has served Shells well, but it hasn't led to them keeping a run of clean sheets together. And their management team, Joey O'Brien and Damien Duff, have pointed out that the defeats really and the goals conceded have been down to individual errors rather than anything systemic. So if they feel if they can cut them out, it could make a massive change for them.
And because they're so open, because they're so open in possession, them individual errors will lead to obviously direct chances and goals, which they have. And it's just they don't have that safety net of numbers behind, because they spread out the play and keep the ball and make the pitch expansive. And rightly so, they're the champions of Ireland and they're trying to play that way. It can just leave you a little bit vulnerable, and when you don't have your first choice back line in as well, adds to it on top of it.
That's nodded down by Keely. Ahui doesn't keep it in.
As a centre back, I don't think he can try and set that one. I think he just has to head it high and back where it came from if he can.
So the ball in the hands of young James Norris. 13th start of the season for him. How quickly he has settled. England underage international. Kearns. What a ball that is. Brilliantly taken as well by Caffrey, and the cutback doesn't come in. Well, he almost was surprised by how good his first touch was, and then didn't get it out of his feet quickly enough.
What a pass this is from Kearns. Now, I don't know why he's gone down injured, because it was a lovely cut of a pass across him, and it just kills Quinn. See, he just cuts across it lovely. It entices Quinn to think he can get it. Brilliant touch. I think he has to put it in there. That check just allows Keely just to get a block on it. After that second touch, you can see Mipo Odubeko's in the middle of the pitch. He has to put it in now, and he doesn't. And it just ends up seeing it out, and it's a really good block from Keely in the end.
Well, it's worrying from a Shelbourne point of view that having made that delivery of such a sumptuous pass, really, to Evan Caffrey, that he went down immediately. So, well, they administer some treatment for him. Lorcan Healy, the reserve goalkeeper, will go through his paces. Utterly dominant start, possession-wise at the very least, for Shells in these opening 12 minutes.
Yeah, and look, it's not something that Drogheda United will get flustered by. They're used to other teams having possession. Majority of the games they played this year, the possession stats have been lower, but they've come out on top in terms of winning a lot of them games on the counter-attack. Even here against Shells, they scored after 4 minutes. Warren Davis nicks the ball and sticks one in the top corner, and then they see out the game. So they've no issue with sitting back in and suffering as a team and knowing that they're going to get maybe 1 or 2 chances, and let's make the most of them.
The supporters will be thankful that Conor Kearns back on his feet and looks none the worse. Little knock away by Gannnon. Lost in the air by the captain Brennan, and sliding into it then was Luke Heeney.
I do think Kevin Doherty would be frustrated with the small little things like that. Lack of communication in midfield between him and Brennan, not dealing with the ball, then knock back to Quinn, just tidying up them little things that's just bringing momentum and pressure on top of them from Shelbourne. They don't need to help them in that. They do need to just take care of the things better, deal with the simple things, header, get clearances on it and allow your team to get up the pitch.
Here's Chapman. Left-footed cross from him is easily headed away. Conor Keely. Brennan facing his own goal for a moment, didn't want to use his goalkeeper. And giving it away cheaply again. Chapman once more. Chapman just clips one inside for Wood. Wood back for Tyreke Wilson. Gannnon. And it was left for Warren Davis, who stuck his head in there and won it back for Drogheda United. And can they hold on to it for a period of time of all? They really have struggled to keep their foot on the ball in this first quarter of an hour.
That's what Davis gives you, though. He just holds the force ball up, contests it, nicks it back, and then they knock it up to him, and he just gives them a little breather and gets them up the pitch.
Was beaten to it in the air by Quinn. It's fallen neatly for McInroy, who finds Chapman. Wilson alongside him. Lunney. Now Gannnon. Sean Gannnon. The armband tonight on the right side of that Shells defence. Facing Drogheda United tonight, the experienced fullback for the 26th time in his career. Here's Ledwidge.
They're moving it from side to side really well. Drogheda putting in a shift. Them 3 lads in midfield, Farrell, Brennan and Heeney, are getting across and covering the ground. The final ball from Shells is just hindering them a little bit. Tyreke Wilson puts in a ball on this side, it gets cut out. I think Gannnon on the far side, or Wood puts in another cross and it just gets cut out. That final ball is really hurting them.
Header out from the fence by Ahui to find Warren Davis. His ball forward, not so good. Just keeping an eye on Conor Kearns here. Graham, he's not moving well.
Yeah, it's mad. You sort of lose faith in the fact that when goalkeepers go down, they might genuinely be injured at the moment, but it does look like he is carrying it a little bit. He's limping towards the ball as well, off that left calf. Yeah, you can see he's really struggling with it off camera here.
He is limping heavily, and Shelbourne, they're going to have to make a change here because their goalkeeper is struggling. Drogheda United will surely have spotted that and be keen to certainly test Michelle's number 1. Don't forget, we're back with you this Friday, as we are every Friday night. St Patrick's Athletic against Waterford FC, 7:30. Join us on Virgin Media 2. Then it's Bohemians Derry on Friday, May 30th, same time, same venue. And then the week after that, Shelbourne against Shamrock Rovers. What a tasty fixture that should be. Friday, June 13th, 7:30 on Virgin Media 2. Here's Kerr McInroy. Didn't get the return ball, but Shells have given it away. It's picked up by Taylor. Breaks off Wood and all the way through to Luke Dennison. Well, the Shelbourne reserve goalkeeper Lorcan Healy is warming up. He's yet to play in the Premier Division for the club. Just one appearance for them in an FAI Cup tie last year. And I just wonder, is the injury list of Damien Duff and Shelbourne about to lengthen further? Like the change is imminent. We'll keep a close eye on it. It's such an important position. Here's Gannnon. One ahead of him, Caffrey 2. And tucked away by Conor Kane. Another one of the ex-Shelbourne contingent in this Drogheda United 11. And the bench are in constant contact with their goalkeeper, Caffrey. Moment of relief for Drogheda United, who've spent the vast majority of this opening 18 minutes chasing the ball. Away by Gannnon, won by Woods, and then hooked clear by Brennan. One for Douglas James Taylor to chase and not away by Ledwidge.
That's what Douglas James Taylor gives you. He will chase them. He's a powerful lad. Just gets trotted up the pitch. You haven't been in Shell's half in a long time. Gets them up the pitch. Can they work something? They've a long throw from this side from Conor Kane. They know it's going to load her up into the box. Keely and Quinn have gone up. Ahui's gone up as well.
It's not the longest of long throws, but there's a flick on from Ahui. Trying to make something of it was Quinn. Back out to Ahui, and the ball to the far post. Oh, and it's almost gone through the hands of Conor Kearns, who does not look like he is in a position to carry out his duties to the best of his ability. He barely got off the ground there as that ball came over his head, and unsurprisingly, he's gone straight to ground.
Yeah, you've called it 100% right. It just didn't look like he could jump at all. He didn't have any spring or power to get up and get it, and it just as well it wasn't on target because it's gone through his hands. Yeah, and you can see just no one in behind him in to tap it in. He breathes a sigh of relief, but eventually he goes down. But we called it probably 5-10 minutes ago. He just wasn't able to continue.
Well, that's just an illustration of the danger of just pressing pause on a decision as important as that, Graham. Because as you say, if that's a yard further left, the indecision on the Shelbourne bench would have cost them the opening goal of the game.
Yeah, I don't think you can take chances on a goalkeeper. If he's injured and it's sore and it's not getting any better, it's not going to get better by running it off or walking it off in Conor Kearns' case. And again, it could have cost him, and that pressure finally comes. Shelbourne had a lot of possession, so he wasn't really worked, but then the one long throw from Drogheda leads to a cross into the box, and they nearly cost him. You can see he's obviously pulled it when he's hitting that pass out to Evan Caffrey, and he just cuts across and maybe just set down on the calf a little bit. It's caused it to... Yeah, but I don't even know why they're treating him. Maybe it's if they're making the sub or not. I don't think he's able to continue.
Lorcan Healy has the gloves on. He's ready to go. He hasn't played in the Premier Division for 14 months. Kearns still feeling that maybe he does have a part to play.
The tricky one's calves, because you can feel all right in them, and then you go to go and it doesn't. It pulls on you a little bit again, and that pain shoots it up.
Given the interaction between Duff and Healy, it does look like they are going to bring Healy in, but on we go, and he's going to join his Shelbourne colleagues, Conor Kearns, in defending this corner kick.
And look at Drogheda's decision. Where are they putting the ball now? Straight in on top of Conor Kearns.
So here comes that corner. Kearns comes for it, does well. Got rid of it right-handed. Ball comes back out to Owen Lambe. Again, it's allowed bounce in the Shelbourne penalty area, hooked away by McInroy. Nodded it forward again by Healy. And now Conor Kane. Early ball in by Luke Healy towards Conor Kearns. does well to get a fist to it once more. Farrell now lays it off quickly to Davis, and that'll be another Drogheda United corner kick.
It wasn't the worst ball from Heeney in the circumstances. I don't think he catches it as well, but it's high and it's right in on top of Kearns, and he ends up punching it away, and he's dealt with the last two. But it looked like he was coming on Lorcan Healy there by the hook that Damien Duff gives him.
Well, he's dealt with the last two balls that have dropped into the area pretty comfortably, Conor Kearns, so maybe that bit of treatment has just improved things. This will be another test potentially. Well, the referee will want that taken again because the Drogheda United players ended up in the back of the Shelbourne net, where they'll be hoping the ball will be resting in a few moments' time. So we'll get ready to go again. It was Warren Davis that ended up over the line.
It was Conor Kearns that threw him into the net as well. You can see it here, look, just throws him in. He's obviously getting frustrated with the players in and around them. But Shelbourne haven't dealt with a couple of crosses. They've allowed a few to bounce. They haven't got contact on it. They haven't got forced contact on it.
Here it comes again. It's well defended with the front post.
It's a big header from Tyreke Wilson.
There actually be a foul of Kane by Odubeko. And no yellow card though. And another chance for Drogheda United to pump one into the Shelbourne penalty area.
Yeah, I think the Drogheda bench is thinking it might be yellow, but I don't know if it is. I think it's just a trip. Like, not every late tackle is a yellow card. He's obviously thinking, if I nick this, I'm away, as Conor Kane is the last defender. But yeah, I don't think there's anything malicious in it to lead to a yellow card.
31 times for Shelbourne. Conor Kane suffered a very serious knee injury in September of 2022 while at Shells. Well over 200 appearances for Drogheda.
His form last year was brilliant.
Fired long by Lambe towards Ahui, won well by Ledwidge, breaks back out to Farrell. Not a great first touch, nor second if we're being honest. Down towards Gannnon, and he just hooks it clear rather aimlessly under a little bit of pressure. Brennan, and now James Taylor inside to Farrell, spreads it wide to Ahui. Ahui looking to take on Chapman. He's a little outnumbered here, Ahui, but he's making a pretty good fist of it down in that corner. Has his pocket picked up by Norris. Excellent defending from the youngster. And then Lunney just brings a bit of calm to the proceedings. And it's sent long. And the knockdown from Odubeko was a very good one. Ball has gone out though.
Yeah, Huey was just trying to walk across. Keely had stayed up for that, and he's just trying to walk that half yard to get it into the box. He doesn't manage it. Norris does really well, knocks it up. Odubeko tries to head it down to Norris on the counter-attack, but look, it's a sustained period of pressure from Drogheda, and they needed that little respite in the game.
Away by Quinn. By Caffrey, left by Wood. It does eventually arrive at the feet of Harry Wood, and he's such a balanced runner with the ball, and it's a pretty agricultural challenge that comes in the end from Keely, and that may well be the first booking, although perhaps it's the final lecture that will be delivered, and the next one from anybody will result in a yellow.
Yeah, Caffrey just whips it around the corner. Brennan does well initially, and it hits Quinn, and then I think it's for that one. And then obviously when Heeney comes in, but he's pulled Brennan to have a conversation with him over the first tackle, I think.
Gannnon, and then JJ Lunney. Ledwidge. Ellis Chapman. Norris. Laid off by Wilson, and gets it back again. And the cutback only picks out Brennan, who keeps his composure and looks to bring it clear for Drogheda. Lambe looking inside for his options. He picks out Brennan. And the Drogheda United captain, who was for so long at the heart of the Shelbourne midfield. Speaking of which, so was Farrell, and he's laid one off, and it's switched then by Keely. Quinn for Kane. 4 touches in a row from 4 ex-Shelbourne players. Clever header out by Ledwidge, who you would imagine had an idea of what was lurking at the edge of the area. He knew Chapman was waiting, and now Shelbourne looking to put a counter-attack together here. Norris.
It's become a little bit more end-to-end, hasn't it, in the last probably 5 minutes? You can see that great break down the left-hand side, like wonderful ball in. It's a really good header from Ledwidge. He knows only James Taylor's in the box, so he just has to get something on it. But then Shell's break, and I just think that's where you'd like to see them continue the attack. I know they check out and recycle a little bit, but can they keep going forward while Drogheda and not allow Drogheda to get back into their shape and get set?
McInroy made a pretty awkward ball look half decent. That's unusual though from Wood for his first touch to let him down. Farrell avoids the referee and spreads it wide to Douglas James Taylor. Lambe. James Taylor again. Inside it goes to Brennan. And it looks like that change in goal is going to happen now for Shelbourne. Healy is back with the bib off, ready to go. And Conor Kearns is removing his own.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I just don't think you can overcome them type of a muscle injury like that. It's not. You can get through certain injuries, but if you pull a little muscle in your calf, especially as a goalkeeper, where you might have to backpedal and make a jump, that's the one that's really going to hinder you. So it's no surprise to see him eventually go off. Surprised it didn't happen earlier.
Well, he'll be thankful the injury didn't lead to the opening goal with that ball that dropped over his head. But they've probably now decided to err on the side of caution in the end. Lorcan Heeney coming on to make his Premier Division debut for Shelbourne. Has faced Drogheda 6 times in the past. Hasn't actually kept a clean sheet in any of those games, and has been on the losing side in 5 of those 6. 18 goals he's conceded against Drogheda United, Lorcan Healy. So we won't have great memories of facing them, but he'll be hoping tonight is a different story.
Hopefully there's goals in the game. That's what we all want to see as well.
So Shelbourne's injury issues continue unabated. Brennan, back out it goes. Lambe curls one in over the head of Ahui, breaks back out to Brennan. Turned down the chance to hit it. Lovely first touch from Douglas James Taylor. Back out again it goes. Brennan, brilliant ball in, and an equally excellent header from Sean Gannnon.
That's a wonderful header, because I think it's Ahui's right in behind him about to head this in. I know he's complaining about the push in the back, but I don't think it's getting to him in any way. But it's a really good header from Gannnon, and what a ball it is in from Brennan. You talked about his first touch, Douglas James Taylor. This is a great set. What a ball this is from Brennan. You see that whether he's going to get it or not, or the ref can go back and give it for a push.
Another long throw, dealt with this time again by Gannnon. Farrell cushions one back down. Kane hooks it in first time. Away by Lunney. Good spell of pressure here from Drogheda United. Farrell. That one away by Chapman. And another ball won in the air by Brennan. Won a bit too aggressively. And I think Kerr McInroy, the player on the receiving end of it, would probably be annoyed if it was given against him in a similar situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's enough in that for it to be a free kick. I think you can see he actually turns his body. His arms are out by his side, Dave, but like, he's made enough contact with the ball. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a free kick for me. But you touched on it about Drogheda's pressure. That's the pressure. They get a long throw, it gets clear to the edge of the box, they recycle it, goes back out to Kane, he puts it in the box. Shelbourne deal with it again, it comes back out. Drogheda players are there, Brennan, Farrell, they recycle it, and they're trying to put it back in the box and try and work this new goalkeeper that's just come in for Shelbourne.
Here come Drogheda United again. Farrell slides one into the channel where it'll be collected by Davis. And he's done well to break inside, and into the penalty area goes. Davis lays one back. Farrell on the edge of the area, hits it and gets it all wrong. How sweet a moment that would have been for Shane Farrell.
Yeah, he knows as well, and it's brilliant play from Davis. Ball down the side, and he knows he's checked back. He scored from similar distance in the game here where Drogheda won 1-0, and he just... It's a lovely set from Farrell, and with someone with his quality of a right foot, he'd be disappointed he hasn't hit the new goalkeeper, Healy.
Good first touch from Odubeko, but it was taken away from him by Ahui, and then he was brought down.
Just a little clip of his heel. I don't think he's getting to it, but it's still a little clip of the heel.
There's a couple of injury issues this season. Ahui's been operating in the back three. He's had a spell a bit wider as well. He's a versatile player for Drogheda United, the 21-year-old from Nottingham.
He was brilliant in the cup final last year. He went up against Duffy at Derry and he was excellent, got man of the match as a right wing back in that game, and he scored a great header against Derry the other night on Friday.
Yeah, got his first goal of the season in that game. Here comes Shelbourne though. That's a neat touch from Chapman. Inside to Wood. Caffrey. Again, Wood just got the angle wrong. Didn't really have an option to his right. Gannnon was trying to get up alongside him. Chels were a little too narrow there to really stretch the Drogheda United defence.
Yeah, Chapman and Wood are just playing off Odubeko up front. They're playing in that like a box in midfield with McInroy and Lunney behind them, but they just need to stay more advanced and obviously then attract the centre-back Quinn. And if Quinn jumps out onto Wood, then the ball's on to go into Caffrey because he's in a race with Kane 1v1. But when he drops deep, the midfielders are happy just to absorb that and allow Quinn to hold his position. Then Caffrey's up against a 2v1 on that side. So, look, I just think they need to be a bit more patient in holding their positions, both Chapman and Wood.
It looked like he was being held back there. Referee had a good view of it, however. Lunney for Norris. Well, Norris is ahead of Wilson here. If he could just have played the ball a little earlier, it's now Chapman. And he used Wilson again. Two-thirds of the pitch now in the shadow of this stand. And across to the sunshine and McInroy. Another beautiful evening in Dublin. It's been a pretty good game so far as well. Just over 10 minutes left in this first half. Wilson for Chapman and now Lunney. Gannnon. Haven't really tested Luke Dennison at all, Shelbourne. We're looking to do so before the break. All the time in possession of the ball, Graham, is not really of any use if you're not creating anything.
No, 100%. Like you said, they've looked wonderful at times. The rotations, Wilson on this side with Norris, Chapman, like I said, I think he could do it being a bit higher. Wood's a bit more advanced at the moment.
Cross from Tyreke Wilson towards Wood, gets a touch on it. That was a chance. Wilson just got across to the defender, Andrew Quinn, and was a fraction off target.
We said about if they can get into wide areas and improve their delivery, they did. This time it's Wilson. Quinn switches off a little bit here because he looks to see where Wood is, and when he looks back, Wood gets in front of him and gets a little nick on it. You see it, and it's just agonisingly wide. You can see Dennison just asking him, how's he got in front of you there when you're your favourite on that side? Just needs to be more vigilant, Quinn.
Well, they didn't manage to test Dennison there, but I don't think he would have passed the test had it been on target. He was rooted. So encouragement for Shells from that wide position, and Wood making that late run. Forward by Brennan, away then by Wilson, down towards Odubeko, nodded away by Quinn. Kane looking to get Farrell running in behind Gannnon. Farrell's nicked it off him and then had it taken straight back. Well defended by Gannnon.
Yeah, he done well in the end, Gannnon. Farrell does unbelievably well, even just to be an outlet for Kane. Quinn struggling on the header, knocks it down to Kane. All Kane has is the channel, and Farrell's the willing runner just to give him an out. And he doesn't let Gannnon out easy. Now leave a long throw that he can put into the box if he can reach from there. And now the fourth official is pulling him back a little bit further than he thought.
Quite enough for the moment, the Shelbourne fans. Drogheda United really have come into the game in the last 10 minutes. Brennan, though, under pressure from Wood. And Wood looking to send one in over the head of Luke Dennison, almost Latan style from that right-hand side. Ambitious, audacious.
Yeah, I'm not sure Damien Duffy's manager is always happy with the decision behind him. He looks like he's... If you could see the images of him, he's just like exasperated with his decision making from Wood, because he's praising him for closing the ball down, saying well done, and then he's telling them just relax and keep the ball. He had a 2v2 with Mipo Odubeko in the middle of the pitch then.
A sort of creative moment that Damien Duff wouldn't have been averse to in his time as a player. Missed by Lunney. Initially anyway, but does win it back for Ledwidge, who in turn goes back to Lorcan. Healy, who's got his first touch since coming in. And it was a worrying one, as that was blocked off by Douglas James Taylor.
Yeah, like you said, it's not how you want to start it as well. The pass back to him is grand. He's obviously trying to just go for power here, when I always say to just go for height as a goalkeeper in that situation.
McInroy trying to slip one through the gap between the two defenders for Odubeko, but the gap was closed off quickly by Conor Keely. One back by McInroy though, and then Norris. Lovely pirouette, blocked away though by Brennan. And now Wilson. Switch of the play inside to Wood, takes it very nicely, sets up the shot and goal, and it's parried by Dennison and regathered.
That's the position we were talking about earlier. Just be patient and stay that little bit higher, because a midfielder can't get over to him. It allows him to just take his touch and fire the shot away. Takes one to set himself, the other one just gets it out of his feet, fires it, it bounces in front of Dennison. He does well just to take the sting out of it. But again, Quinn can't come out to him, or Keely can't come out to him.
A couple of goals this season. He's already equalled his tally for last season. Harry Wood, of course, got the one that was most important of all in the eyes of the Shelbourne supporters, that winner at the Brandywell that clinched the League of Ireland title after a long wait for Shells. Harry Wood, for that reason, will always be written into the history books around Tolka Park. Odubeko beaten to it in the air. Brennan loses out to Chapman, who's scrapping for it there with Heeney. And now Farrell waiting for the run of Kane, which does present itself. And Kane's away, and that is late from Gannnon, and that is going to be a yellow card. And Kane has stayed down with a fairly hefty whack on his right knee.
Yeah, I don't think Gannnon can have any arguments, and he doesn't. He knows he just has to accept the yellow card. It's a brilliant run from Kane, and he just gets there late, and it's obviously a foul and a yellow card, stopping a promising attack. But the lateness of it, and how dangerous it is from Gannnon, results in a yellow card, and rightly so. Just hope Conor Kane's okay. Might just taking a dead leg or a sore one just above the knee. But brilliant from Farrell as well, just drops in, links the game, and Kane's a willing runner on that side.
So it's Gannnon who's the recipient of the first caution of the evening, and it's a pretty promising position for this set piece in Drogheda United. Under their manager, it's watchful eye, Kevin Doherty. Spent time managing Chelsea when they were in the first division, and of course a great name around Tolka Park from his time here as a player. So it'll be Owen Lambe to whip this towards goal, and maybe test Lorcan Healy in the Shells goal. Here he comes. Ledwidge took responsibility for the clearance, back in it goes. Well, Quinn couldn't kill it, but he was clearly offside as the ball arrived.
It was a really good ball in actually from Lambe, similar to the one he had in the opening 5 minutes of the game. This time he does clear everybody with it. The really good decision from Ledwidge just to head it away. The keeper's obviously giving him a late shout. You just have to deal with them. The follow-up shot isn't great, and Quinn just on his way back out. He's the one going for the original one. He's never getting back on side from there.
0-1 in the air by Keely. Now Norris. Chapman for Lunney. 4 minutes left in this first half for Shells to find a breakthrough. Gannnon, and now McInroy. Lunney flicks it for Ledwidge. Neat and tidy stuff from Shells here. Wilson now bringing it on. Looking for Odubeko. Goes beyond him to Wood. It was an awkward one as the ball came at him pretty high. And now Drogheda looking to break through Kane. Really good race for the ball between himself and Caffrey. Two brilliant athletes up on that far side.
Great recovery run from Caffrey as well, because he knows Wood's chance. Dennison gets the game going quicker. Kane just takes off, but Caffrey matches him stride for stride. This is a fantastic ball from Tyreke. Wilson just hangs it up lovely. I was thinking, could he take a touch on it and pull it down and get a shot away? I'm not sure he can. I think he just has to get better contact on the first one.
Maybe attacked it with his head. Either way, didn't really get much purchase on the volley. Away by Gannnon this time. Chapman, a neat touch to Caffrey, who launches one. There have been 5 goals in the 2 games already this season between these two. Drogheda United having taken 4 points from those 2 games. They start the day 4 points adrift of Shamrock Rovers in the title race. It's still so competitive, to 7 points separating the top 6. And Rovers in first and Shells in 6th place. Things can change so quickly.
they've all gone on little runs. Look at how well Shelbourne started it. They beat Drogheda in the President's Cup, really comfortable. They blew Derry away in the first game here as well, live, and they were unbelievable. And you thought, Shells have really stepped up a gear this year, and then they've just obviously plateaued a little bit at the moment. And I know injuries is massive in that. And then Rovers, who don't start well, have come into form, won the last 3 games. Pats have had moments where they've been excellent, but then there's times when they haven't. Bohemians have winning late as well, so it makes for a fantastic league.
McInroy. So Gannnon to his right. Now it is Sean Gannnon up against Kane. Got it out of his feet quickly, and it's tipped away by Dennison. 2 players lurking at the far post in Norris and Odubeko. And the goalkeeper did what was required.
Yeah, it's a good decision from him. He's never going to catch this. He's backpedaling. He just has to get something on it. There's 2 lads coming in at the back post. You see the cross there. He's never going to catch that. He just has to help it on. It's a good decision in the end when you see the 2 Shelbourne lads coming in behind him.
So Wood with this delivery.
McInroy's free in behind Conor Keely here.
6 to aim with the penalty here. He's too close to Dennison, however. And he left Bohemians in July of last year, having really fallen out of favour at Dalymount Park, and then played a key role in their survival and their run to the FAI Cup.
That's a good take, but I don't think Kevin Doherty's happy with his decision making after it. I know there's only a minute to go, but he wanted it to go long. He saw Warren Davis in a 1v1 and he wanted it put in.
Farrell caught late by McInroy. We'll have 5 additional minutes at the end of the 45. In the main due to the injury to the Shelbourne goalkeeper Conor Kearns.
You can see him there. Doherty just pleading with Dennison, just saying, look, he's 1v1 there, just put the ball in. It's a great take. You don't need to go to ground with it. That's our chance.
So the likes of Quinn, Ahui, and in particular Conor Keely waiting for this delivery from Lambe. Quinn is the target. Beaten to it in the air though by Ledwidge, who really has been excellent in those aerial battles so far today. Healy comes, doesn't get an awful lot on it. Quinn trying to get it under control. And now breaking into the area was Davis. Kept his feet. And Shelbourne trying to get the ball clear.
He does brilliantly well to get the seconds, and he's saying it to Wilson there, like it's not like he's gone over it and purposely tried to bite. He just ends up falling because of contact. So it'll be interesting to see on the replay if there's enough contact to justify a penalty.
Here's Caffrey for Shelbourne. Nobody ahead of him, so infield he goes to Wood. Wood loses it. Hooked long by Conor Keely. Down towards Davis, who's playing that lone frontman role today. Excellent work from Norris to get back and win it for Lunney. And now Chapman. Sort of first half finish that you don't really want to conclude because the game has been played at a really good tempo now. Harry Wood looking for Odubeko, who goes down. Referee gives the free kick the other way.
Sorry, I don't think it's a free kick either way. Like, what's he seen there that he's given a free? Like, just let the game go. This is the one that we were talking about, the Warren Davis one. Comes, Ahui does really well to compete. They get the seconds, they keep it alive. Warren Davis does brilliantly well here, just comes onto it, nicks it, then he tries to play it. I'm not sure there's enough in that, like.
We might just file that away in the seen them given category. Ledwidge does well again. Wood loses out to Brennan. And then Quinn beats Odubeko to it. Caffrey. Game pretty open at the moment. Now Harry Wood. Lovely first touch, but nicked off him by Keely. Heavy touch though from Douglas James Taylor.
Yeah, he has to do better there, Douglas James Taylor. It's probably a half a yard to the side of him, but he just has to control it and get the ball into him. Just relieve a bit of pressure from Drogheda.
Wilson for Chapman. Crosses towards Odubeko. He might turn and hook it goalwards here. Keeps the ball for Shells. Back out it goes to Norris. Edge of the area is Lunney. Encouraged to shoot. Curls it towards Wood instead. Quinn did very well.
Yeah, that's better defending from Quinn. He's on the inside of Wood there, and it becomes a better contest to the ball.
Sean Gannnon. Now Wood. Caffrey. McInroy is bypassed. It goes back to Ledwidge. Lunney. Norris, first time ball for Wilson. Gets it out of his feet and curls one towards Odubeko. Well, he never quite rose to the pitch of the cross. And it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. He never looked confident over it either. But here you go, yeah, like you said, they just recycled the ball. Healy comes and gets involved in this. I'm not sure he needs to. Quinn just tries to keep it alive, they hook her away. But this is the moment, you see, Davis comes onto it, does brilliantly well there. Does a little touch off Wilson's leg. That's the only reason I can see why the ref hasn't given that. Otherwise, I think if that little nick doesn't come about, I think it's a penalty for Drogheda.
And in fairness to Warren Davis as well, Greg, there was no great appeal from him either for it. It wasn't like he was adamant he'd been brought down, so maybe that's a signal. The players probably know better than anybody that the referee's made the right call. Now Wilson reverses it towards Chapman. A bit of trickery, chicanery from Keely there, from Heeney rather, just to break the game up a little. Lunney showed a little too much of that to Healy, but he was brought down by the former.
There's a bit more zip in the game the last 5 minutes as well.
Ledwidge. McInroy. JJ Lunney. Chapman. And now Wilson. Stabs it to McInroy, looking to get it back again. Dealt with by Owen Lambe. Straight though, it goes out to Norris, who curls it in first time. Headed away by Quinn. McInroy trying to keep it alive. Douglas James Taylor now aiming to release the run of Warren Davis. And it was well read by Lorcan Healy.
Yeah, he done really well there. He went side foot as well and just got air on it and height. Douglas James Taylor does better, and that's what Kevin Doherty been encouraging. If Shelbourne do overcommit players forward, can they just release it into channels for 1v1 situations for the likes of Davis to run onto?
Final few seconds of a fairly absorbing first half, it should be said. Wilson for Chapman. And there is the half-time whistle. Shelbourne dominating the ball and have probably had the better of the chances overall, but equally Drogheda United have been a threat. Not quite so much possession, but they will be happy enough with their first half performance, albeit plenty of room for improvement. More injury issues as well for Shells, having had to make a change in goal. But there's nothing between them in the sunshine, the last sliver of sunshine on this beautiful evening in Dublin. It is half-time at Tolka Park, where it's Shelbourne 0, Drogheda United 0. We'll have analysis next.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media. On Virgin Media.
No goals at Tolka Park at half-time. Shelbourne 0, Drogheda United 0. Shelbourne with the closer moments to opening the scoring in that first half. But Vinny, you wouldn't say that Drogheda are by any means second best in this game in terms of moments of danger around the goal mouth, would you? No,
which is interesting because they've had 30% possession, that's all they've had, but they've had a lot of the better moments in terms of the long throws and free kicks. For Shells, this is where becoming champions is difficult. It's 0-0. Do you go and take a risk? Do you open yourself up for that, as I said, that long throw, that little sloppiness? And they've had that all season where they haven't defended everything brilliantly. So they haven't threatened the goalkeeper enough from Shelbourne's point of view. And for Drogheda, Kevin Doherty to be very happy. They're still in the game and they've had some of the better moments.
At their best, we know, Ian, the Drogheda are a hard nut to crack. So you've had a look at how Shelbourne have gone about trying to break down this Drogheda team.
Yeah, when you look at Drogheda's shape out of possession, they've a back five, they've a flat midfield three, and they've two up front with Taylor and Davis. But you look at Shells, initially they tried to play, and Mipo for all the kind of flack he gets, he's always so isolated. But what Shells have tried to do is that flat three of Drogheda, as you can see them there, they've pulled Chapman out wide, they pull McInroy out wide, they pull Harry Wood operates out in these little channels, and them kind of half spaces either side of that flat midfield three. And to begin with, Shells were kind of recycling the ball. They didn't get bodies high enough up the pitch or into the box. And then as the game started ticking on towards the end of it, they put it in. Harry Wood, unbelievable technique with the outside of the foot, trying to steer it into the far corner. But again, you look at it, opposite side of that midfield three, Harry Wood again, lovely strike, and you're just thinking Mipo and the rest of them getting closer to that second ball in case he spills it, and the keeper did. But look at that space again. Tyreke Wilson was really good, getting forward, playing the ball in, and that man again, Harry Wood. You'll see it just keeps on. It's like repetition after repetition. JJ Lunney, little reverse ball inside, and who's there? Tyreke Wilson puts the ball in the box, and
Mipo.
Encouraged
from a Shell's point of view by the space they're starting to find as the half went on.
Hugely encouraging. You can tell that they've worked on that because boys are getting into them positions early. They're waiting for the ball to go. But the important thing is they're getting bodies in the box and they're not turning down opportunities to make Drogheda defend.
Yeah, but it's too slow in, and that's the challenge for Drogheda, getting them 10 men behind the ball. And when Shell speed it up as much as they've got them balls into the box, but if you can get that ball into them wide areas quicker, then Drogheda can't get set with 10 men behind the ball.
And the Drogheda-wise, it's been from the Drogheda manual this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and it almost feels disrespectful to say that because it hasn't just been set pieces and long throws. We've seen bits of quality from them and high energy.
Their passing accuracy is up, by the way. Ian was giving out about that before.
Yeah, it's up at 0.5%, is it? Yeah. Over the season, we're close on 52. But you see them here, like, it's long throws. They're waiting for the moments. As I said, 30% possession, and Shell's missing centre halves at the moment, a bit indecisive. Obviously the goalkeeper's injured there as well, so these are what Drogheda are playing for. They do a lot of this where they stay in the game and they're a real threat from set pieces. That's why I make the point, it's not all just set pieces. Conor Kane has been really good in this game. He's given them huge energy and he's forcing Gannnon into a position he doesn't want to be there, and it's good header ultimately. But you know, recycling the ball, putting pressure on Shells. As I said, if Shells want to retain their title, they've got to dig in the well here. And this is where the pressure is building on Shells a little bit because they haven't taken the lead. Ironically, after being the dominant team on the ball tonight, they're the ones that are feeling a little bit of pressure, I would say, at half-time.
Just wanted to mention Conor Kearns, the goalkeeper, going off. Not only it kind of knocked Shells out of the early stride for a 10-15 minute spell, but it took a good 18 minutes between the injury and Lorcan Healy coming on. It's his first league appearance for Shelbourne, so maybe a little bit of nerves. Is this an area, we'll see a bit of a penalty claim coming in a minute, is this an area Drogheda would look to exploit in the second half?
It actually tied in where you're seeing Drogheda get a little bit into the game more. You could see they started to feel a lot more confident. They were putting balls into the box, they were there and thereabouts. It looked like there was a little bit of hesitancy with bringing the keeper on and making that change. I'm not sure how confident they are in it, and that will buoy Drogheda on. They will think, right lads, there's a mistake here, we can get after this. We've seen a couple of bits.
Is this a penalty?
Don't think it was a penalty. No, I don't think the other one was up the other way with Mipo. The little clash, just two coming together in the box, but that will give Drogheda confidence.
Okay, two teams who have found it hard to break one another down so far tonight. Who's going to blink first? Second half is on the way.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on
Lidl this summer.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Now, lots more exciting League of Ireland fixtures coming up over the next few weeks. We have St Patrick's Athletic against Waterford this Friday, then the following Friday we're at Dalymount Park for Bohemians against Derry City, and then there's the mid-season break, and then we'll be back after that with Shelbourne against Shamrock Rovers. On the subject of Shamrock Rovers, let's get an update from Tala as Rovers taking on St Pat's this evening, and coming up to half-time, it is the league leaders that lead the way. The goals coming from 16-year-old Michael Noonan. And then, as you've just seen there, on 36 minutes, Graham Burke, man in great form at the moment, doubling his size advantage with that strike from outside the box. Stephen Bradley's men very much in the ascendancy in that one. Remember, came into tonight 2 points clear at the top of the Premier Division. The viewers have had their say in the title race in general. The Bulls fans are out in force. Just edging Shamrock Rovers on the pole there. Vinny, whatever about maybe talk after the game about a bit of pressure on Stephen Kenny given recent results, if that stays that way. For Shells, I mean, our sort of take at the start of the game was 7 points behind Shamrock Rovers. They can't afford to drop any more ground in this title battle. So does that feed into the narrative of this second half of Tolka Park?
Yeah, I think it does. Obviously, in their dressing room, they won't have checked their over score potentially. Maybe the manager has, some of the players. But it's a big swing. It's a 4-game swing if they don't get over the line tonight and get 3 points. So that's where you take. That's why I always make that point. You take little risks. You go and try and do something, and then Drogheda will be hoping for the sucker punch.
It's only 3 wins out of 8 home games for Shelbourne coming into this evening. For Drogheda, is the job to maybe prey on any sort of edginess that might come into things at Tolka Park in the second half?
Yeah, I think so. Like what they done in the first half, I think they're going to make the keeper work, make him work as much as you can, get balls in the box. You've seen Kevin Doherty giving the keeper instructions to get Warren Davis away quickly. He's 1v1. Can they play high? Can they get them away in the break? And I think it's going to be more of the same from Drogheda in the second half. He'll be mad to get Darragh Markey on as well, who can create that bit of magic. So we'll hopefully we're in for a goal-packed second half.
Indeed. Let's get back over then to Dave and Graham for the second half in Tolka.
Yes, thank you, Tommy. So no changes for either side at the half-time interval. Drogheda United pretty pleased, I would imagine, by what they produced in the first half. Once they get a grip on the likes of Harry Wood, who was probably the most dangerous Shelf player in the first half, they will feel there's something positive to be had for them in this game. Their record against Shelbourne of late, not great, just 2 wins in the last 18, but they did of course win, Graham, on their last visit here. And they had their threatening moments as well in the first half.
Yeah, like you said, I think coming away from home to the champions as well, they've put in a steady enough performance. The last 5-10 minutes of that, where they had a couple of half chances with Wood coming in at the back post, he doesn't get the contact on it. But all in all, I think Kevin Doherty will be really, really happy with this.
We won't be able to get up and running though until they're happy with the nets. And as you can see, the gradsman here at Tolka Park, he is one of the people involved in presenting what this field is tonight. This pitch has improved so much in recent weeks. He's got a couple of cable ties in there in the goal behind Lorcan Healy. And after that was dealt with, we are up and running once again in the second half here. With Shamrock Rovers winning, Graham, but Shelbourne will fall further behind in the title race if they can't pick up 3 points here. And it is sort of now getting to a position where it's getting out of hand a little. It could potentially be 9 or even 10 points by the end of the evening.
Yeah, when Rovers go on a run like that, they've won the last few games, and then it looks like they're going to go and beat what would have been seen as a title rival as well as St. Pat's. Shelbourne have to react and make sure that they don't get too far away from them. And obviously then form comes into it. Are they in good enough form to catch them at the moment? They're probably not. They need to make sure they go and win games, and they might have to win ugly at times, and that was probably a credit to them last season. They won a lot of games 1-0 or 2-0 by the odd margin, but they just dug in. And at the moment, them sort of games and fixtures are just going against them by the odd goal at the moment.
Ball forward by Ahui there, dealt with by Wilson. So this is Lambe. White started the second half. A lot of the spectators still retaking their seats. Norris showed good strength there. McInroy for Gannnon. And it sends one wide for Caffrey, who had some really bright moments on the right hand side in the first half for Shells. Ledwidge for Wilson, and now Chapman and Norris. Gannnon. Wood's ball to Odubeko, reared up at him. First touch needed to be a bit better. One by Ledwidge, collected by Brennan, who's looking to pick out Douglas James Taylor.
They're the positions. Can Woods and Chapman obviously a little bit deeper here, but can Woods get a little bit higher on this inside right channel and then just put the ball into the box, make Drogheda to defend. If Odubeko's touch is a little bit better and he's on the move, he can just go around the corner with his right foot and then just try and pull and get a shot on it. Just needs to be on the move.
And Norris. Ledwidge uses Gannnon. Lunney. Wood slides one through to Odubeko. It's a heavy pass though for Caffrey in a tight area.
Yeah, that's better play. Woods just holds his position, comes inside, links up with Odubeko, but it might be bobbled up just before he hits it. You see it. This is the one I'm talking about. Just bounces up right in front of him. We were talking about how well the pitch was, but that just springs off and catches him out a little bit. But the next one just needs to have a little bit more cuteness, a little bit more guile, that finesse with the last pass to allow Caffrey to come onto it.
By Dennison. Made off by Brennan and cleared by Chapman. Ahui scampering back towards his own end line, decides to take no chance and flip that ball over the top of the stand.
I think everybody thought it was going to go out of play straight away, and it took them a while to get chasing after. Eventually, Ahui just gets to it.
Norris inside to Lunney. Gannnon for Wood. Wood again. McInroy. Caffrey. Long ball to the far post. Norris with a knockback to Chapman. And it's cleared initially, but then it's lost by Drogheda. Back to Norris and stepping out of defence very effectively and necessarily too as Conor Keely, because Odubeko was getting ready to spring.
100%, Dave. He reads this really, really well and really early and gets to it because he knows that that's the danger. It's good pressure from Shell. A good ball in at the back post. Norris does well. We saw Chapman had a shot in the first half where it ends up being blocked by Brennan. This time he elects to just cross it back in. But they're just trying to play and up the tempo of the game. Drogheda holding their shape really well. They're going to give up crosses in those channels. They have to deal with them better.
Lunney around the corner. Wood can't wriggle away from Davis, who's back foraging in defence for his team. Now Farrell just turned into the challenge of Norris. He's so busy down that left-hand side.
Well, Norris, I don't think it was the pass for Davis, though. It just took momentum out of the game. Douglas James-Taylor right under us just makes a great run off the shoulder of Gannnon, and I don't know if Warren Davis sees him. If he does, he should play him. Just give him a run at Gannnon.
There's one back by Wood. His cross headed clear. Quinn. Down on top of Douglas James-Taylor. He's outnumbered there, but he still manages to beat the odds and win the ball for Drogheda United. Inside to Brennan. Farrell now. Got Ahui with him. Ahui continues his run. Got the wrong side of Norris, and it was an important touch from Wilson. Here's Wood trying to keep it away from Quinn, and then sends one over the top for Odubeko to go after. Wrestling for it with Keely.
Just never set up right for him, did it? Odubeko, you could tell he fancies his pace against Keely. If he can just get a little nick on it. But that's what I was talking about, that ball down that channel. You see what Douglas James-Taylor can do up against Gannnon. He just leans on him, uses his power. That's the one I felt Davis should have played earlier.
I just feel it's a second half needing a spark. There's a really good tempo, particularly in the last 20-odd minutes of the first period. It's yet to reach those levels in the second spell of this game.
As the away team, that's what Drogheda want. They just want a quiet talk apart. So it's up to Shelbourne and the players on the pitch just to bring a momentum and a rhythm, and then obviously get the crowd involved and bring an atmosphere to it. But that comes with playing with a tempo, comes with playing forward, comes with making Drogheda defend a little bit more.
Ball over the top of Healy, watched it well. Really well defended by him. Now Quinn. Rather limited ball, aimless really, straight down the middle to Healy.
Yeah, Dave, that's where he just has to check inside. There's a big space in front that Douglas James Taylor and Warren Davis just drop it into them and then allow Farrell to go and link off it.
Here's McInroy looking for Odubeko again. They're trying to play him in very early.
The quality has to be better though, Dave. I get that they're looking up and he's making runs, and I'm calling for it to go in and make Drogheda to defend, but I also, you want to see it go in with quality.
Wood. He's usually capable of producing a moment of quality when required. Plays it short for Wilson. He's got Norris ahead of him, and Norris just makes the run from out to in. Well watched though by Lambe. Lunney. Wood. Across to Norris. Lambe goes across to meet him. Norris with the cutback, really good one as well. Farrell half cleared it, and Odubeko stopped in the end by a strong challenge from Quinn.
It's a brilliant tackle in the end. Farrell does actually well to put Odubeko off and not let him get set. Really good play down the left. That's a really good ball, chop back. Farrell does well initially. There's a big tackle from Quinn. Brilliant, brilliant tackle.
And just as important as getting there was Farrell's discipline. Could so easily have got that one wrong and brought down the Shelbourne centre forward. So corner kick, an in-swinger from Harry Wood. It's a good delivery too, and it's headed over by McInroy. Well, right underneath the crossbar, and he'll be feeling that is a chance that has come and gone, and he should have put it away.
Totally agree. He's been free. He was free in the first half from a corner. Conor Keely goes spared and goes to attack the ball, and that's allowed McInroy just to be free. He comes over the top of Farrell. Probably be disappointed he hasn't got it down. See, he gets up, hits his shoulder, Dave. He never really gets any contact on it. If he gets any contact on that in a downward direction, it probably ends up in the net.
A couple of goals already this season for the former Celtic Academy graduate, including the injury time winner against St Patrick's Athletic last week, which was a vital goal, and one just that relieved a little bit of the pressure that was beginning to bubble up around the environs of Tolka Park. He's on the ball again here now, McInroy. Caffrey loses it though. Here's Brennan. That's on off Gannnon.
Done well, Kane down that side. I don't think it's the best ball for McInroy. It doesn't favour Caffrey. But Conor Kane done really well just to get across, nullify the attack. But you see just that bit of energy, that bit of directness from Shells, getting balls into the box, making the defend. It's just brought the crowd into it.
Ahui left it for Heeney. Heeney left it for him. Norris eager to get forward. Wilson breaks kindly for Wilson. Now Chapman trying to fend off Ahui, does well, keeps it alive for Shelbourne. McInroy slides one forward to Odubeko. Back to goal, finds Caffrey, and Wood wasn't anticipating that first time ball.
Probably wasn't happy with the weight of the pass either. It didn't favour him. Again, it's better play from Shelbourne, just up the tempo on it. Just need more end product. The final pass is letting them down as well, Dave. You saw that just there with Wood.
So approaching the hour mark. It's certainly a stalemate. Both goalkeepers, all three of them which have been involved in the game tonight, including Lorcan Healy, which came on in the first half. He came in for the injured Conor Kearns. They haven't had an awful lot to do, and nobody really has been asked to make a save of any real consequence. Here's Douglas James Taylor. He gets the shot away. It didn't seem to carry an awful lot of punch in it, but Healy had to get down sharply to his left.
I think it takes a deflection on the way through that might have caught Healy out. Do you know what? It's It's the little bit of sharpness and tidiness that Douglas James Taylor's probably been missing, and lack of match sharpness. This was better from them. This is what we've seen tail end of last year. You see he just nicks under the bottom of a Shelbourne's player's studs. But that's what he was all about, just getting the ball into him, rolling people and getting shots away. Balls down the side, pulling on things.
Lambe's corner, an outswinger. Douglas James Taylor did get to it. He just seemed to head it back from the angle from which it came.
Yeah, I think it'd be you can see he's disappointed he hasn't done better with this. He knows it's on his head. He scored similar in the semi-final for Drogheda against Wexford at home. You see him just comes onto it. There's a little gap here and he appears, he's coming onto that lovely, but he just can't get his head over it.
Into the final few weeks of his current deal, this loan deal that Douglas James Taylor is on from Drogheda United sister club Walsall in League 2, so they'll expect him back at some point over the summer for pre-season training. If Drogheda United could get another deal over the line, I'm sure they'd like to do so. He's been an asset to them.
Massive player for them when he came in last year. The season before, Drogheda had really struggled after their players went back on loan. Last year he got stronger. They were second from bottom when the lads came in, and he really improved them, and he was a catalyst for a lot of it.
Batted away by Ledwidge. Led off by Heaney. Brennan didn't anticipate the fall. He was on his heels a little as Odubeko won it back for Shell. Here's Wood. That's a free kick for Shelbourne. Gannnon. McInroy. Lunney for Ledwidge. Wilson lays it into the path of Norris, who's got away here. Norris with a cutback. Wilson's ball across, brilliantly stopped by Brennan. Corner kick. Brennan did not deflect from his defensive duties there as he covered that space.
It's brilliant play from Shells. The tempo in which they move the play from right to left. Norris links up with Wilson. Wilson plays him in. Great little cutback. Fires it across goal. Brilliant block from Brennan. He's been excellent. You saw the block he made in the first half from Chapman, and he just comes flying across and deals with this one as well.
And immediately was beating his chest, showing the referee, this is where it struck me, sir. So the in-swinger from Wood curls it to that far post, and it's clutched well by Dennison. Dennison looking to release Conor Kane down this left-hand side. Lunney covering that space. Inside it goes to Healy. Douglas James Taylor, a good header forward to Brennan. He's only got Davis with him.
Just wouldn't sit for him to slip him, didn't it not, Dave? You could see it.
That's a poor ball from Lambe.
It's what Kevin Doherty wanted from Dennison in the first half. He saw that 2v2. This time was Conor Kane. He knocked along. He actually get the seconds off the clearance from Healy. Here's the block again. It says it's hit him under the arm. He's seen pointing at his chest.
Tyreke Wilson. Misdirected ball towards Odubeko. Just a reminder, we're back with you with more League of Ireland Premier Division action this Friday night. Virgin Media 2 from 7:30. It's St Pat's hosting Waterford FC. And then the following Friday, the 30th of May, 7:30 again, Virgin Media 2. Bohemians against Derry City. As that ball is cut across and cleared by Shells. A week later, Friday, June 13th, 7:30, Virgin Media 2. Shelbourne against Shamrock Rovers. The champions versus the side looking to regain the title under Stephen Brantley. Here's Farrell now on the edge of his area. Hooks it back towards his central defender, Conor Keely. Brought back off Davis. Lunney. And just 3 shots on target between the two teams. Probably paints a picture of a game that at the moment, certainly, and in this second half, has just lacked a little bit of quality in the final third for both sides.
Agreed, yeah, it's just been played in this little area. 30 yards out from each other's goal. Shelbourne are having a lot of the play, and obviously Drogheda then just having spells on the counter-attack, get the ball up the pitch a little bit, try and work crosses and play off set pieces, but again, Shells are trying to force the game, and it's the home side and it's the champions. That's what you'd expect.
Well, judging from the activity on the Shelbourne bench, the first change not enforced upon them tonight, as the goalkeeping switch is about to take place. It looks like John Martin will be the first man off the rank. Perhaps after this break in play. Here is Wilson. An hour gone, no goals at Tulker Park. Chapman in behind Norris. Did well to keep it in. He's a tricky customer, Norris, as he's proving here. Played it in with the outside of his boot. And bringing it away for Drogheda United was Keely. But it's coming straight back at them, however. McInroy for Wood. Wood shimmies back inside. Left-footed curler. Always rising high and wide.
Yeah, his chop is brilliant. Brennan just buys it. All ends up. Wonderful chop, and it opens up for a little bit. And you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to just open up his body and bend that in with his left foot. You see it here. Looks like he's going to cross one in. Brennan jumps in, and you can see he just opens up a little bit. He's trying to use Quinn just to bend around him, but the accuracy or the power isn't there.
So John Martin will be in shortly. He's picked up a few goals in his career against Drogheda United, 3 in 16 games. Just the one goal this season. He hasn't had too many opportunities in the start. 9 of his 13 league appearances have been in from the bench. He'll have to bide his time, wait a few more seconds before that change is made. Ball lumped forward beyond Odubeko, who hasn't had too many really high quality balls to really get his teeth into this second half. Will they bring Martin up front with him and just give him somebody to play up alongside?
I think that's the plan, actually. Maybe Chapman drops in beside the lads in midfield. The box hasn't really worked because, and it hasn't overly worked. Woods and Chapman in those inside left and inside right positions. You just need to hold the positions and be patient in and stay higher. But they haven't done that. Woods has dropped in a little bit too much. Chapman more so on the left hand side. He's really dropped in.
No delivery away by Ledwidge. He's pretty much won every header that's come his way tonight. He's not the tallest man on the field, not the tallest centre half in the league by any means, but he's certainly effective. That change will take place now.
He's been a big player for them this year because he's stayed fit as well. When you consider the likes of Lewis Temple, Paddy Barra, all them missing, he's been ever present in there, and he's really grown into that role.
So it's JJ Lunney withdrawn. So Harry Wood will likely play a bit deeper. There was a message being delivered to him directly by his manager as that change was unfolding.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go with sort of the two either side of McInroy in midfield. So Chapman has a licence to go and Woods has a licence to go, and they just play with a sitting midfielder. And the other two lads can act as the legs either side of it and go and support the attack.
Gannnon. Look for Odubeko. Stopped by Quinn. Quinn did well. Reverses one square for Kane. Inside to Douglas Chase. Dangerous. Allowed the ball to beat his body and then scuffs his shot.
He's done really well just to get it through the gap. I'm just disappointed it's not on target. He's disappointed it's not on target. He knows really good awareness just to roll that. He's disappointed. He has to go. He has to start working the goalkeeper.
Just his fourth start this season, Douglas James Taylor. He had that thigh injury that kept him out for months. And he has featured in 6 consecutive league games now. Caffrey for McInroy, and now Ledwidge.
You see where Woods and Chapman are playing now. They just pulled the midfield right out. Can they go straight into the strikers now and link the game off Martin and Odubeko?
That's a poor header from Ledwidge, probably the first mistake he's made all night. Douglas James Taylor. Farrell's made a run ahead of the ball, but he's in 2 minds here, maybe 3 minds. Douglas James Taylor eventually picks out Lambe, breaks to Farrell, back it goes again. Lambe to his right, he's got his captain. In fact, it was Luke Heeney who played it back initially, and then it's sent long by Dennison. Farrell in a little wrestling match with Wilson there. There's Norris. McInroy, Wood. A lot of space to get turned and play the ball forward towards Odubeko. Rising highest was Keely. Just not enough craft behind those balls forward from Shelbourne. Wood again. Lays it off to Caffrey. Again, the pass just not of the sufficient quality.
Yeah, the final ball is really, really hurting them. They're getting into great positions. That little ball, that should favour Caffrey and allow him just to cross it first time. It's actually favouring, it's not even that it's not getting the Caffrey, it's favouring the draw of the defender. This time it's Quinn that gets across. And that final ball, whether it's the pass before the cross, has to be better. And that allows them to put in a good cross and allows the strikers to time the runs in the box. And it's just not there.
By Healy. Floodlights on full power here at Tolka Park as we get late into the Dublin evening. Taking the time with this one, Drogheda United. Shane Farrell was going to take it, and this is going to result in a yellow card. And in fairness to Owen Lambe, he's the one being shown the yellow card. He'd come an awful long way to take that free kick. It's probably a bit unfortunate. He's the one who has to pay for the sins of those around him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how do you pick who to book there? Do you book Shane Farrell for deciding not to take it? I agree totally. Baffling decision at times from the referee.
Won by Keely. And if the idea is just to lump it forward, surely Farrell could have hit it. Punched away by Healy. Fortunate enough that it fell straight to the feet of Chapman. Flicked on. First touch that's coming in from Martin. And then Martin brings down Luke Keely, who was taking the ball away.
To just get enough bodies back and around it to deal with it, and then they get the free kick. Wonder who'll take this one, Dave.
Well, again, as I said, Graham, if you're just launching it into the penalty area, does it really matter who takes it?
No, I don't know why they bring him back to do it. I thought the keeper was going to take it. It was closer to Dennison to hit it than bring Lambe all the way back to hit it.
Any one of the players out there can just lump it forward. It's exactly what Conor Keely has done. Surely he's probably the most effective in the air for them. He should be in the penalty area waiting for it. Gannnon straight back from where it came. Keely back in again. Pretty agricultural stuff at the moment. Maybe Wood could bring a bit more presence and guile to the proceedings, but not with that pass.
There's a lack of guile in both teams at the moment, like you said.
Heeney with another long ball forward. It's fallen to Caffrey, and he hooks it clear. Fair to say, Gray, the quality isn't at the best at the moment. It's
it's dipped a little bit.
It's not one that's going to live in the memory too long if it continues in this vein.
No, the last 10 minutes, I know
Shells are going to make another couple of changes. They'll be bringing in John O'Sullivan and Ryan O'Kane, and the ball is next out of play. Well, as you can imagine, it's a pretty subdued Tolka Park, as those who've come through the turnstiles tonight not exactly been treated to a classic, but maybe these men can shake things up a little. Ryan O'Kane coming in, the 21-year-old from Dundalk, who has really struggled for minutes of late. He's been an unused substitute in 9 of his last 10 league games, and 18 minutes against Derry City 3 weeks ago, his only run in that time. And Harry Wood, usually the real creative spark for Shelbourne, but he hasn't had a great second half, and he's been withdrawn. And John O'Sullivan coming in for Shells as well, who did start against Bows last Friday, back on the bench tonight, but in for the final 20-odd minutes.
Surprised to see Norris going off, because he was making inroads down that left-hand side. He's probably Shelbourne's most attacking threat, especially in the second half. Him and Wilson linked well on that side, and obviously Chapman in there, but it's just surprised to see that change come about.
And Thomas Alua into the Drogheda United attack. It'll still be a single-pronged attack with Warren Davis being withdrawn. He's got a good record against Shells, albeit it's in the Leinster Senior Cup where the goals have come. He's got a couple of hat-tricks in separate Leinster Senior Cup games for Drogheda United against Shelbourne, Thomas Alua. He'll be hoping he could transfer that to the Premier Division level.
Yeah, and he had a couple of chances on the break that killed the game against Derry. Drogheda got into some really good positions. They were 1-0 up and a couple of cutbacks, and look, he probably just didn't fall for him on the night, but he's hoping he can come on here to make an impact against a tired Shelbourne defence.
Dennison, the fourth different taker of a free in the last couple of minutes for Drogheda United. Similar result though. Breaks back out to Farrell. You know where this is going. Launched straight back inside. Again, the quality not great. Ledwidge meets it with his head.
Like you said, it's just dipped in the last 10 minutes. The quality. The balls up to the strikers have been bouncing off them, haven't been held up. Some of them have been up around their neck. They're trying to deal with them. You just need to tidy the game up a little bit, both teams.
Well, in JJ Lunney and Harry Woods, two of the real ballers in the Shelbourne team, both of whom have been withdrawn, so they've lost a little bit of their creative ability. And Drogheda United haven't really shown much of that at all throughout the game.
And then the player you expect, like Farrell just in front of us, has a chance to put a good decent ball into the box and doesn't do it, and you expect better from players of his quality.
Alua looking to get him and Drogheda United into the game, and he's won a corner kick. Markey, well, the travelling return, who had started every league game through the opening 13 matches of the season until a leg injury intervened, and he missed the last 3, but back on the bench tonight and coming in for the last quarter of an hour perhaps. Shane Farrell is the man leaving the field.
Yeah, he's such a quality player, Darragh Markey. Like you said, the game has probably lacked quality in the last 15 minutes, and you're hoping he brings it.
Here comes the corner kick. Trying to make something of it here is Quinn. I don't think it goes out all the way to that far side. The corner flag might keep it in. It has done. Given away by Shells though. Brennan back out towards Heeney's ball into the penalty area, beaten down to the ground by the replacement keeper Lorcan Healy, and then skied by Owen Lambe.
Yeah, he just gets two hands on it. It's a punch, but he punches it down into the ground. Lambe comes onto it, and he does have a quality right foot. We've seen that with some of the deliveries in the first half. Again, it's not a great quality ball in, it's just lofted into the area. Gets two hands on it, punches on it, but just needs to relax a little bit, show a little bit of composure.
Yet to open his Drogheda United account. Owen Lambe. Wilson wraps his left foot around that one, looking for the run of John Martin. And get it onto the ball again here, Wilson. Just well to avoid 3 different Drogheda United players. Gannnon now. Shelbourne attacking down this right-hand side through John O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan leaves it for Caffrey. Left foot across. Headed away well by Conor Keely. Wilson couldn't make the pass for Ryan O'Kane. Alua, lovely turn away from McInroy. Needs support though alongside him. He might go alone. Does lay it back, and when it comes back to him, he wasn't quite ready for it. Still Drogheda United making good inroads here. Away by McInroy. And just a hesitation there from Kane. And it's won brilliantly by O'Sullivan, and the ball played forward by Odubeko towards Martin. Not good enough.
Yeah, brilliant from John Sullivan, actually, just on this right-hand side. And he sets up a lovely counter-attack. Great challenge between him and Brennan, and they both just got up and got on with it. But yeah, Alua has a good chance. Again, I think he should... I know he's trying to play him in, he's trying to play Lambe in, but if he can just stay on it that little bit more and then allow Lambe to get his shot away by just slipping him in.
First touch from Markey, forward by Heaney. There have been so many passes played by both teams that are really more on hope than any degree of expectation. A ball into a space not necessarily occupied by a teammate.
But this is it here. You see Alua just takes off. He breaks that. McInroy's gone as the sitting midfielder. You can see Ledwidge does really, really well there. But that's where he has to entice Ledwidge to step to him and then slip Lambe in. And if Ledwidge doesn't step, he just has to get the shot away himself.
John Martin accelerating down that left-hand side. Looking for a cutback. And it's delivered in by Chapman. And the header is a pass back in the end. Really disappointing from John O'Sullivan.
It's behind him and he just can't get any purchase on it. I don't know what's happened. Dennison here, he looked like he just fell over.
Launched long by Dennison. Missed by Gannnon. Douglas James Taylor lays it back to Markey. He'll be bright and busy, and Markey does get a shot away. Not one for Healy to worry about. This is going to be a breakthrough. Both sides really need a victory if they're to somehow hold on to Shamrock Rovers' coattails, because they are continuing their recent promising run of form, leading again this evening against St. Pat's. 3 goals to the good at the Tallaght Stadium. Ryan O'Kane for Shelbourne. Chapman looking inside. Oh, there's a chance here for Shells if they can get it away. There was a foul though on Andrew Quinn by John O'Sullivan. It looked that way as it arrived.
Yeah, I think he just hits him just as the crosses arrive, and he just runs into him. You see Quinn opens his body, has a look for him, gets ready to go, arm comes up onto his back shoulder and nudges him over. He probably doesn't need to do it either.
Not happy, John O'Sullivan. Well, a feature, a trademark of their title run last season was grinding out narrow victory Shells when they weren't at their best. It's something they need to get back to. And if they were to do so tonight, it would be a sign that that is the case. Odubeko lays it back to Chapman. Heavy touch from him though, and he was fouled. It may have been a foul on Odubeko. It's a free kick nonetheless for Shelbourne.
I think it's against Brennan on Chapman as Chapman plays the ball away. I know it ends up going out of play, but he's brought it back for the late challenge by Brennan.
McInroy's delivery. That's a good ball in. It's well defended. Really important header coming in from Conor Keely. Back in again, more defending to do. Keely there once more. Helped on its way by Healy. Now Ryan O'Kane whips one goalwards, and it's that man again meeting it, Conor Keely. Now Ryan O'Kane. That man again meeting it, Conor Keely. Shelbourne now starting to put together a little bit of pressure here. O'Sullivan pushed off it. He looks inquisitively towards the referee.
In a row, the ball's come into the box.
Breaks back out again. Chance maybe for Martin. And a left-footed drive coming in, and it's cleared well by Quinn. And it's struck pretty well by Wilson. Gannnon. Now O'Sullivan. Caffrey. The Shells maybe commit 1 or 2 more bodies forward. There may be opportunities in behind for Drogheda.
I think that's one. Brennan has a head knock. Not sure that's why they're stopping it, or if it's Stephen Kenny's influence on proceedings and sportsmanship.
He's one of the most experienced operators in the league, approaching 350 appearances in the Premier Division. Played a key role, Ryan Brennan, in Shelbourne's return to the top flight in 2021. 15 goals he scored that season.
You see Sullivan running back here on the edge. What happens? No, I don't see anything that's happened to him that's caused him to go down with a head injury.
Here was the last Shelbourne attack that they were trying to put together. Look at us, look here.
There's nothing in that from Brennan. I'm not sure if it was the clash he has with John O'Sullivan in the corner when they both come together. It's the only time I can see him having physical contact with someone in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Shells will be loath to drop more points, and specifically even more points against Drogheda United. And they've had a win and 2 draws from their 3 meetings if things remain as they are. Cross it goes to Wilson. Pass to Chapman, doesn't find its ultimate destination here. Doesn't find its ultimate destination here. Is perhaps could have got it under control, away by Ledwidge. Ahui's header clear, straight to Markey. And then Markey gets it back again in a little pocket of space in midfield. Back it goes to Andrew Quinn. Another chance for Kane perhaps. Markey again. Douglas James Taylor trying to get turned, facing goal. Good save, Healy. Well, he pinned his defender and got his body turned, and got a very good shot away.
And it just comes from Darragh Markey finding them little pockets. He finds one on the edge of the box, just puts his left foot round it. Again, once he gets it into him, Douglas James Taylor, he's big frame, he's hard to get round. Moves it to the side. It's a really good save. It's a save you expect him to make, but that's what made Douglas James Taylor so dangerous last season.
So a Drogheda United corner. And it comes from Lambe. Headed away by Wilson. Back in towards Healy, who does well as bravely claims it. He do without another injury to a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he done really well there. He's came and punched a lot of stuff, and that's the first one he's come and caught.
Chapman. Okay. Inside it goes to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan just rolls it for Caffrey. Ledwidge. Wilson. Kane. 4 in the penalty area if you can get the cross in. Ahui though, physically that was a little bit of a mismatch. And it's cleared by the Drogheda United defender. 5 minutes remaining. Forward now, no flag on that far side, but there's too much on it to give Douglas. Nice bit of skill by Lambe in midfield, but it's taken off his toe. McInroy will look for it back here. John O'Sullivan. And now Caffrey. Shell's looking to pick the tempo up a little. And he's being hounded, Caffrey. There was no foul. Douglas James Taylor with a pretty stiff challenge on Ledwidge, who has stayed down. And here come Drogheda United. Kane breaking into the penalty area. Up against Wilson, his opposite number. Ledwidge back in his feet and gingerly making his way back towards his own penalty area. And that is a free kick in a pretty good position for the visitors.
It's a really good break from Drogheda. Kane goes all the way in with Caffrey, and Caffrey's trying to buy the free kick, but the ref doesn't give it, and then they're away. Just a little clip from Brennan, who's been instrumental in this game, just that little soft clip over the top, goes back to Kane. You can see the tackle from Sullivan there. He just, again, I don't know if it's a yellow card, I don't think there's a lot of maliciousness in it, but it's a free kick in a dangerous area.
Second booking of the game.
The chance they had before it, and I'm not sure if we can go back and see it, the ball spills out to Lambe in the middle of the pitch off a ricochet. Douglas James Taylor's in on goal, and all he has to do is a soft little pass into him, and he just overhits it. I'm thinking if he just has a little bit, if he just caresses that into Douglas James Taylor's path, draw there in on goal, and it was the chance they were waiting on all evening. Conor Kane shouldn't have to go off if John O'Sullivan was booked.
Here comes the free kick. Now Odubeko. It's a lovely drop of the shoulder. Quinn trying to track him all the way. Forward by Quinn. And a chance maybe for Elua. The goalkeeper's left his goal. Elua, tight angle, puts the brakes on, gets the shot away. Healy stood tall. Breaks out again to Markey with the effort. Another save. And it's still there for Drogheda United. Ledwidge struggling, got the ball in a delicate area, I think. But it was his body and indeed the hands and goal of his goalkeeper that have kept this game scoreless.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure he makes the right decision. I think Ryan Brennan is the one charging through, and he wants just that cut back from. Doesn't go to him. But just Drogheda piling on the pressure in the last 5 minutes. Another chance. Oh.
They're still going, Drogheda United, and now starting to test Lorcan Healy in the Shells goal. Heading towards the conclusion. Doesn't have the sense or the feel of a game that's going to have a dramatic finale, but who knows? A draw probably would be the fair result on the balance of play. Heeney leaves it for Keely. Now Gannnon knocks it back towards his keeper. He's grown into the game, Lorcan Healy, after a nervous first couple of minutes after coming in for Conor Kearns. His league debut for the club. Well, as we get towards the end game, Graham, chance for you to tell us who stood out for you tonight.
There's been a few, like obviously Cameron Ledwidge at the back for Shelbourne's been excellent, but I'm probably going to give it to Ryan Brennan in midfield. He's led Drogheda by example. It's been a tough game. They've had to dig in at times. He's got across and made some vital blocks. He's pulled his midfield in when they need them. He's hooked things around the corners as well. So for me to come away to the champions and come away with what looks like could be a draw here, he's been instrumental in that.
Here's the SSE Electricity player of the match here tonight at Tyreke Park as Markey picks one up for Ahui. That'll be a Drogheda United throw-in.
Another one who's been excellent is Ahui. He's defended he's 1v1 defending is excellent. We saw that against Ryan Kane earlier. He was up against Norris as well, and with Lambe bombing on at times on that side, he's been left 2v1 and he's dealt with it really, really well.
Lua trying to keep this one alive for Drogheda. Did well, found Lambe. Drives inside beyond McInroy. Good acceleration from him, and Douglas James Taylor left it in the hope that Markey was maybe lurking in behind. Heeney for Ahui. Brennan. Lua. Douglas James Taylor for Lua again. First time ball by Heeney. Lifted hopefully into the penalty area. Lambe was in there. Gannnon held him off. John O'Sullivan's ball forward. Well under control.
It was a really good ball in. Lambe does well to get that down on his chest. But at the moment, Drogheda probably looked the most dangerous.
6 additional minutes, and that's brought some in the stands to their feet. Chapman. Ryan O'Kane goes for goal into the side netting. There are other options available to him.
Yeah.
Sent long by Dennison. Douglas James Taylor trying to get the other side of Ledwidge and fails to do so. Ledwidge in turn brings it away for Shells. Wasn't a great ball to Odubeko, headed on by Taylor. Through it goes to Healy.
Yeah, Wilson does well there, because that's probably a mismatch in terms of power between Thomas Alua and himself.
Really down towards Odubeko. Missed by O'Kane. Brennan looking for Alua. Wilson did well. Here's McInroy. Tired legs, maybe tired minds, could lead to a mistake that might result in a winner. Caffrey. We'll want that one back again.
I never see them set the cross. It's like he's coming inside and the ball's in between his feet, so he never has an angle to whip it. It's happened on this side a lot. They haven't got many crosses in from the right hand side. Caffrey, or whether it's John O'Sullivan, they all come inside and like to link it. Not once has they got to the end line, or else got to the end line, check back, then allowed someone else to come on and whip it.
4 of the last 6 meetings of these clubs have ended in a draw. We're heading for 5 and 7. Okay, was strong in the tackle. Markey thought he'd nicked it off him. Flicked on by Martin, who gets it back again from Odubeko. And again it's Ahui, strong, so physical, so athletic.
He's on the ground here, Dave, after the forced contact, and he rolls and gets back up and makes the tackle. Like you said, the physicality of him, the power of him just to get back up and make that tackle.
Well, next up for Shells, it's Sligo Rovers at home this Friday night. For Drogheda, Bohemians at home on Friday. These two teams won't meet again until September, unless, of course, they're drawn together in the FAI Cup somewhere along the way. Caffrey couldn't get a shot away before Brennan intervened. Halfway through the 6 allotted minutes of injury time. Sullivan back to Healy. And now Tyreke Wilson, who's had a really good game, having been brought into the starting 11 tonight. No Ollie Coote and no Mark Coyle. They were both sent off. Perhaps unfortunately so. Certainly Shelbourne supporters would feel that way against Bows on Friday. O'Sullivan's ball in. And it needed to be dealt with by Lambe, and it's a Shelbourne corner.
But again, he's better set across it. He's in a brilliant position. He pulls out, gets it out of his feet and just whips it in. There's nobody actually in there, but Lambe has to deal with it. Now it brings pressure on. Quinn has gone on to McInroy now after the free header in the second half.
Evan Caffrey goes low. O'Sullivan trying to get a flick on. Comes out to Ledwidge! Oh, he caught all of that.
Yeah, that's a wonderful strike of the ball. He gets his knee over it, just not enough. If he can keep that under the bar, it's gonna trouble Dennison.
80 games without a goal. Cameron Ledwidge, that would have been a spectacular way to end that run.
You can see this is a great angle from behind. He just comes onto it, steadies himself, just starts rising when it just gets to around the 6-yard line mark. Just up and over then.
Notice James Taylor can't get there ahead of Gannnon. 90 seconds remaining. Good header in the air there that time by Quinn. Forward by Kane. Knocked down by Gannnon. Cleared by Caffrey. Quinn still scrapping right to the death of this game with Odubeko. Chapman now. Good run forward by Wilson if O'Kane can find him. Chapman, nice touch. McInroy. The roof will come off that stand on the far side if they can fashion a winner, Shells. Ledwidge, they've under a minute to do so. Now is their time if it's to happen at all. Forward by O'Sullivan. Caffrey, back for O'Sullivan. Ledwidge, they need to get this ball into the area quick, smart. Wilson breaks inside Alua. Little switch of the play. Curled in by Caffrey. Again, Quinn is there. Ahui and Keely really have had outstanding games at the back for Drogheda United.
Yeah, and that goes over Quinn's head. It's generally dealt with by Keely. This time it doesn't make it over Quinn's head. He gets his head on it, puts it away.
On we go into the final few seconds. The dying embers of this game. Ledwidge's ball forward.
The Diamond League at 7 o'clock on Virgin Media 2 with the action coming from Rabat for that one. Back to tonight though, and as you can see we had no goals to enjoy at Talker Park this evening. Shelbourne 0, Drogheda United 0. Just 2 shots on target from Shelbourne. They huffed and puffed tonight, none in the second half. Disappointing night from their point of view. Just 3 home wins in 9. Mind you, did end a 7-game run without a clean sheet for Shelbourne. So every cloud and all that. Right, let's get into it. Vinny, we're going to look at what we don't know whether to say this is like Shelbourne being blunt in attack, like you were talking about before the break, or really good defending from Drogheda point of view. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's obviously a mixture of both. In terms of Shelbourne, you wanted to see a little bit more creativity in their play, and spoke at half-time about speeding it up, but it was a lack of quality at times, and that ball is just overhit. But there's nothing there, when it comes back out. There's nothing of quality. There's not picking people out. Yes, Drogheda have thrown their bodies on the line to a point, but again, it's behind Mipo. Everything Mipo has dealt with tonight has been on scraps, and even this cross into the box, there's no sort of set pattern of play, someone getting across the front post. Again, Gannnon, it's slightly overhit. They're defenders' ball when there's too much air, and defenders love them. So, look, it needed to throw the body on the line here, but it's still a shot, 2 shots from distance. So there's nothing in terms of getting down the side. You haven't seen Shelbourne getting to an end line at any stage in the game. And when Drogheda needed to come alive from a defensive point of view, they've done that. And the back three, Ahui, Quinn, and Keely. I thought they were exceptional tonight. You know, if you could marry the 3 of them together, I'd be fighting with Graham Gartland. They should have got man of the match, but you had to give it to one, and you can see why, to be fair. So I thought they were excellent. They dug in. We said that at half time they'll find themselves into the game, and then as that game wore on, it was them that looked the more likely.
Yeah, I mean, like a point at the champions, you know, is obviously nothing to be sneezed at. But will Drogheda be going up the road thinking we had moments there, and as that second half went on, you kind of felt it was more likely that they were going to score?
Yeah, and I think that's how they set up. Like, you could see how Drogheda set up, that they have their back 5 in, they have their midfielders, they've their 2 up top, and they look to just get the ball up the pitch as quick as they can. They have runners, and they created probably the better chances in the game. And as it wore on, James Taylor here has a shot, and we were talking about working Lorcan Healy when he came on in the first half, and they certainly did this. This was a huge one. James Taylor takes it off Conor Keely, arguably the best header of a ball in the league. But they started to get a little bit more confidence, and they start getting balls in good areas. They start running channels, and Andy Quinn here plays a lovely ball out wide. Again, James Taylor causing hassle, getting his strike off. Unfortunately, can't hit the targets this time, but they really just kept pushing and pushing. We'll sit deep, we'll soak up loads of pressure like we just shown, and then we'll start to get balls in the box. This decent save for Lorcan Healy, but he'd have been delighted with that. But these chances for Alua, this is where you're looking for someone with a bit of quality. Get your head up, roll that across for either Brennan or James Taylor to slot in, and he can't do that. Big block by Cameron Ledwidge at the end. But the chances kept on kind of rolling for Drogheda in the last 15-20. This is a huge chance. Again, bit of quality, have a touch, hit the target. Alua looks like the type of player that he just wants to be running into green grass. Doesn't want too much time to think. He had a couple of good chances there to win it for his team, but Drogheda will be delighted. If you would have said to them, you'll take a point before the game, clean sheet, they'd have bit your hand off.
The SSE Electricity Player of the Match was the Drogheda captain, Ryan Brennan. He's speaking now to Dave McIntyre.
Ryan, you are the SSE Electricity Player of the Match tonight. I guess sometimes you just have to grind it out, and tonight was one of those nights.
Yeah, tough place to come, obviously, to the champions. Great point all in all. We tried to contain them as much as we can for the first 50-60 minutes, keep the crowd quiet, and we were lucky enough probably not to come out on the other side of it. So look, probably a fair result. There was a portion of the first half, maybe the second period of the first half, where you guys are looking pretty threatening. Was that your best spell of the game? Yeah, absolutely. I think 10 minutes into the first half we looked like we could get it down and start playing. Then Shells obviously pressed us a little bit higher. We maybe had to go down the sides a little bit. It didn't stick up there as much as we wanted, but we came into the game the last kind of 20 minutes and on another night and licked them. Yeah, so good to have Darragh Markey back, isn't he? Because he's so bright and busy when he came in for the last 20 minutes. And as Shells started to commit 1 or 2 more bodies forward, I would just wonder, was there going to be a winner here for you? Yeah, absolutely. Look, as I said, it probably opened up the last 10-15 minutes and either side could have got one. I thought we were comfortable kind of throughout in our shape. Obviously getting Darragh back is massive right before we break, but 2 massive games now coming up, so we have to dig in and go again. Finally, Ryan, where are you in terms of the ambitions with which you enter the season? Have they changed in recent weeks? You're so far above the bottom 2 that do you spend more time looking up than over your shoulder now? Not really. I go back to the old cliche of looking at our next game and take it as it comes. We have to dig in at times. We know that. We roll up our sleeves, we do it together, and we love defending as much as we love attacking and scoring goals, but we're together, and that's the main thing, and hopefully going forward now we can pick up more points. Okay, well played tonight. Thanks for your time. Thanks very much. Well played tonight. Thanks for your time. Thanks very much.
Because we're going to show his sort of show reel of the night, the man of the match, the Drogheda captain. He sort of epitomises what's really great about them, and it's not a sexy show reel of silky skills. It's the hard work that dug out that result this evening, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bit of hard work, a bit of experience, and a little bit of guile as well from him in terms of just know-how. He comes into a little pocket here, and it's so simple what he does. Finds that little pocket of space and then just whips it first time, putting Shells under pressure. But it was all the little things, the block there, throwing his body on the line. And look, as he said, you're going to the champions, you've got to dig in deep. And it was all those little flicks around the corners, and
I better be kind to him. I'm up there on Friday and his two brothers be up there waiting on me. The Brennans, they've a mixture, they've a family of real skillful footballers. And I'm not sure he is the most skillful, but he's certainly a very talented footballer.
Looks bigger than you now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Keely is certainly bigger than me, but he has a huge League of Ireland pedigree, and he showed that tonight. He showed that little bit of experience that was brilliant, and delighted for him.
I actually don't think he gets the credit he deserves in terms of his quality. I brought him to Shells. He was there for over 3 years with me. He is one of the cleverest players that I've seen around the league in terms of when you have a fit Ryan Brennan, he can do the dirty side, but he's got that bit of quality. He's got that bit of cleverness. Even you've seen the bit where he was down with his head injury. Yeah. Shells were conceding, or Shells were putting pressure on there. They had multiple balls in the box, and he took the the speed of play out of the game for them, and he gave them that breather just to get them sorted. So I think he's a top player.
Top player for Drogheda. Not a top night from Shelbourne's point of view. 1 win in 8 now. Their manager Damien Duff is standing by with Dave.
Damien, more disappointment, just 1 win in 8 now. What's your emotion after that game? Is it frustration?
Of course, yeah. We expect to beat anyone home or away. So yeah, obviously disappointed. The lads are disappointed up there, but there's another game coming on Friday, so we'll have to dust ourselves down, recover and go again for that. Did we deserve to win tonight? I don't think there was a lot between the both teams. I think the ball was out of play more than it was in play. When we did have it in play, I thought it was about wearing them down, grinding them down, and we certainly didn't do that enough.
You spoke in the build-up about these games where you're enjoying an awful lot of the ball, but then that obviously needs to be converted into chances and then goals scored. It was a similar story tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, listen, I'll have to look back at the chances. I thought there were possibly more half chances again. Yeah. I think we got into a lot of good moments up around the final third, and that's probably what's let us down this season, having that calm, that clarity, being killers in the final third and also in the defensive third. Yeah, you saw Harry Wood coming off, JJ Lunney coming off, two of your more craftier players, I guess, creative players. Is there enough depth in the squad in terms of that particular part of the field, the final third, where you do need that quality at the moment? Well, of course there's... I never like mentioning injuries, but if you're asking about depth, there's a few guys out, there's a few guys suspended, obviously. So even Ali tonight, that final third, yeah, he can unlock defences. But yeah, listen, for sure, no, the squad is there. Squad of 21 outfield players, more than 2 for every position, so there's no qualms about that. Conor Kearns obviously going off. That's not going to help things either. Is that a serious one? Is that one you're concerned about? We don't know. We'll obviously have to scan him in the morning, but Lorcan's come in and done well and saved the day really there. If you're not going to win the game, you don't lose the game. You're back here again this Friday, and that's the good thing about this league. There's always another game, isn't there? You don't really have too long to reflect on what's gone on. It's all about what's coming down the tracks. Yeah, for sure. So listen, the team... we're certainly not in a good moment, you say, at the minute, but it's all about sticking together, working hard and just keeping it simple, and that's what we'll do, and we'll recover well and we'll bounce into Friday. Thanks for your time. Cheers, thank you. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Tubman.
They're not in a good moment, Vinny. How do they get out of it?
I suppose, look, I think the window can't come quick enough, and they've got to get a few players back, but they've come away from what they were doing brilliantly last year. I understand why, but...
Do they need to go back to that?
Yeah, possibly, yeah, and become a little bit ugly again and force some teams onto them. And that sort of back four, you think of... I think they're okay in, say, the full-back areas. Can they get full-backs a little bit further? Because they not got to the end line at any stage tonight for a decent pull-back, not creating enough chances in the final third. So Damien's got to question that a little bit. It's all right having loads of the ball, but Luke Dennison in goal for Drogheda hasn't really had anything decent to do tonight. It's been comfortable.
Do you think he'd be, as a manager, questioning his sort of approach this season to maybe evolve their style and wondering maybe I go back to the sort of belt and braces that was so successful last season?
Yeah, but like to me they look like they've worked on so much patterns of play and training that they're manufacturing how they're going to play and how they're going to go. And you want your players like Harry Wood to play off the cuff, to have that little bit of I'm going to pull into areas, I'm going to get turned, Ali Coots, kind of being a little bit freer in it. They look like they're set up in a certain way, and everyone's going to get in a position when we have the ball, and we're going to play through, and we're going to try to get higher up the pitch. That might tie in as well to that Mipo's not the hold-up man that Sean Boyd is, and who can bring people into play, who can harry defenders, who can win balls to bring others in, to flick beyond. So maybe they're a little bit caught, and they're not playing as free as they probably could be.
OK, time for a quick break now, but do stay with us because when we come back, we'll have more reaction from that game, but we will have all the goals from Tala as well as Shamrock Rovers took on St. Pat's. Don't go anywhere.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Lots more League of Ireland action coming up over the next few weeks. This Friday, we are at Richmond Park for St. Pat's against Waterford. Following Friday, then to Dalymount for Bohemians against Derry City. And then after the mid-season break, it'll be Shelbourne against Shamrock Rovers. Let's just stop off in our live game again tonight because we want to hear from Drogheda United boss Kevin Doherty, who's standing by with Dave.
Kevin, we spoke to Dave and he's frustrated. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm frustrated we didn't win it as well. Like, you look at it, probably in the first half they certainly had more of the ball, and they did have more of the ball, and generally it's the case with us, but the second half I thought all the chances we had, I don't remember them having a chance in the second half unless I'm mistaken, but the chances we had in the second half, look, you have a game plan and we get the most out of the players we have by playing with that game plan, and Broken had the best chances in the second half. I don't know how we didn't score the one with Thomas, and whether it was squared or the keeper makes good saves, but we should score. And I'm not frustrated with the performance. I thought it was a good performance. Look, you're coming to the home of the champions. We've been here twice and picked up 4 points. Like, you have to ultimately be happy with that. But I thought we were more. I thought in the first half they were better, and I thought in the second half we were better, basically.
OK, let's move on to tonight's other game that was taking place at Tallaght Stadium. Shamrock Rovers, the league leaders, up against St. Pat's, who are 4 points back in third. And it's not long finished in Tallaght, and the league leaders have well and truly dominated this one. It all started with an early goal from 16-year-old Michael Noonan, as he continued to show his talent. Few questions, to say the least, though, as you can see, to be asked of Joseph Anang in the Pats goal, head in his hands quite reasonably there. Then on 36 minutes, Graham Burke doubled his side's advantage with a fine solo run, and that strike from outside the box. 2-0 Rovers in a pretty gloomy first half for Pats, and the misery got even worse for Stephen Kenny's side when they conceded a third early in the second half. It was Burke once again scoring his 6th league goal of the season. Danny Grant with the assist there. And Rovers continued to put out a big statement to the other title contenders. They made it 4 when substitute Aaron Green rounded off a superb night for Stephen Bradley's side as they ran out comfortable winners and widened that gap at the top of the table. Confirmation then of tonight's 2 results. Shelbourne 0, Drogheda United 0 in our live game. And the league leader Shamrock Rovers a thumping win in the Dublin Derby against St. Pat's. Remember, these are the teams who will be representing the League of Ireland in European football later in the summer. So they're playing each other to leave space for those fixtures later on. And it means that Rovers have a game more played than Derry City, but it is a 5-point gap. Drogheda edge up to 4th, Shelbourne 6th, and they're 9 points behind the leaders Shamrock Rovers now. The first league, great stories, teams overtaking each other. Is it starting to feel now that this is Rovers' title, even at this point, if they show if their true quality reflects in the season that remains?
Yeah, I think to throw your hat at someone at this stage after the way the league has gone, you'd be mad. But I do think that they're a form side in terms of like getting players back, creating chances, scoring goals, putting people under pressure. Even the way their demeanour, the way they're playing, they look like, yeah, we're going to be the champions. We're going to get our crown back. We'll blow anyone away as soon as they come. Where you look at the Pats result there again, you're looking at highlights, but from the previous weeks, I'm not sure on the Pats players in terms of their body language, what they're doing in terms of, are we sure on, have we got a certain team that we're going to go to all the time? Loads of changes, formations changing. Like, where are they at the moment in terms of like who they are as a team identity? Can we, because they've got the players individually, it's how can Stephen Kenny get the best out of that squad?
Is that the story here, Vinny? As much as Rovers win again, that is the question, is Stephen Kenny under pressure? or as much pressure as a manager with a 5-year contract can be on. What's your take on it?
I think Pats fans will be bitterly disappointed. I think they made the fatal error tonight. It looks like that they went and tried to match up Shamrock Rovers in terms of playing with the back three, two like Simon Power and Zach Abizetti as wing backs, and they left 4 full backs on the bench, and it obviously hasn't worked. And that back three, Turner coming in, first game that more or less start in a long time, you have to question. Unfortunately, it's like questioning your sort of godfather. How do you do it? But you have to question the decision making around Pats at the moment. It's not being good. They could allude to they're only 2 or 3 points off second, but you know, they came into this season, spent a lot of money, and expected to go after a title, and they've a long way to get back into the title race now, because that's a big gap the way Rovers are playing. And that last goal from Shamrock Rovers was good as goal you'll see in many ways, because of the beautiful one-touch football, and that shows a team full of confidence. So Rovers are really putting it on at the moment.
They certainly are, yeah. Rovers 5 points clear at the top of the table after this evening's events. We'll leave it there. Thanks to Ian and Vinny for their analysis this evening on a night where Shamrock Rovers really laid down a marker. Our shell's starting to crack. Bye for now.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.